Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the United States of a Movie Podcast, a movie podcast that makes every Monday a fun day, at least every couple of weeks currently right now, because we are doing some special episodes, but we like to get together and we like to talk movies. We also have a point here at the United States of a Movie. We like to go around the whole country of America and try to find one movie to define each state in these United States. But the cool thing is we've done 2 trips around the states now. We even included Nebraska. Yeah. Can't even say it, can barely even spell it. I'm still not sure it's real, but now we get to have a little bit of fun and do some of the episodes we've been gagging to do. Some of the episodes we've been wanting to do since the very beginning of this podcast. And this week, it's the podcast episode I was born to make, because this week we are trying to find out what is the best boarding school movie ever made in the world. And my friends and co-hosts are here to help me figure it out. Let's welcome them back to the show. Ryan Sander, as always, in sunny, warm Arizona. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. It is so nice to finally get some insight into why you are the way that you are. And I think some of these movies answer that quite well.
It's honestly kind of freaky how there's moments in each of these movies where I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly like my school.
I have that underwear.
And sitting in the middle of his very own video store in Los Angeles, California, Will Hirsch. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here. How much murder and death happened at your boarding school? Because according to like all these movies, something dark and horrible happens at every boarding school, possibly all the time. So
true. Not quite as much murder and death as some of these movies, but at the same time, yeah, a little bit of darkness. A little bit of drama and a little bit of confrontation. Yeah, sounds like
a whole lot of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, yikes.
It's basically like prison, but you got to pay to go there. But boy, we actually had some pretty great movies. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I do have a question. Explain to me the difference between a boarding school and a prep school, or is it basically the same thing?
Great question. Because you see, I went to preparatory school, which was Cranmore, and then I went to secondary school, my boarding school. So prep school prepped me for boarding school. But it seems like in America, you've got prep schools which prepare you for life and college. But yes, so it's weird because like in the UK, I went to public school. That's what boarding schools are. It's where you pay to go, whereas public school in America is the opposite.
Right.
So in the UK, we've got state school, which is public school, and then public school, which is boarding school over here. It's very silly. Yeah. It's very confusing. And
I'm flunking this class right now.
Yeah. It's the metric system for schools. But this time around, we managed to find a Wes Anderson comedy that I've never seen, which was absolutely brilliant discovery of Jason Schwartzman. Oh. We got to find an anti-Semitic movie that Ryan has never seen. And it's, honestly, starring every famous person from the 90s and early noughties.
Yep.
And we also got to find and watch the return to the location of Major Payne, and this time around we bring some Major Payne with a whole bunch of terrorists, a whole bunch of army people, and a lot of people dying. I was very much enjoying Will's reaction every time. He was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Yep."
Yeah, my God, nothing. I could say definitively, nothing good happens at that school. Major Payne goes there. There's a lot of murder. Everything about that school is bad.
I do think though that if Major Payne was at this school, I don't think those Terrys would have fucking gotten on campus.
Give me that
would have been a
crossover.
better. Yeah, yes. that would have been a better movie.
I am fascinated though because I know Will, you'd never seen Toy Soldiers, yeah.
Nope, never.
I think everyone we told about it thinks we're talking about Small Soldiers.
Yes, everybody thinks we're talking about Small Soldiers.
Another brilliant crossover idea. Just write that down. I'm curious, like, what your anticipation was like going into this movie. Like, did you have any preconceived notion what you thought it might be? Because the title is kind of misleading if you've never seen
Toy Soldiers, 90s movie, Sean Astin, terrorists at school. It's going to be like, oh.
Yeah, I did not know this was an action movie. Like really, and when I put in the Blu-ray, seeing the cast picture of everyone, I didn't know who the cast was. I think you guys might have said it, but I tune out what you guys say. So I'm like, looking at the screen, and I'm like, Will Wheaton's here and Sean Astin, and what's it? What like I
Louis
another this
Gossett
is
Jr.
Louis Gossett Jr. is awesome in this, but also this is now like the second '90s Sean Astin movie I've seen like recently,
Including
uh,
Rudy.
Yeah.
including Rudy. He made another movie with Bruce Campbell where Bruce Campbell was the villain. It took place on a ski slope. He was a ski instructor.
In
They
It was
made an
shot.
Encino Man 2?
Yeah, I'm not joking. This is a real movie they made. It's Die Hard on the ski slopes,
It's
but
oh
John
shit.
McClane is Sean Astin.
Oh no.
We're watching that movie.
You don't
Yeah, it's
want.
What was it called? What was it called? What was it called?
God, I don't even remember now.
Okay, here we
It's honestly so boring that I forgot literally
Is it
everything.
called Icebreaker by any chance?
That could be it.
He's holding a gun. One ski patrol officers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, and then yeah, man, you were not wrong. Bruce Campbell with a shaved head and Stacy Keach.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Stacey
Okay.
Keach. He was
Our boy from Nebraska?
It was so dull. I forgot Stacey Keach.
That is, I'm just now realizing the movies we're doing this week has Brendan Fraser and Sean Astin both from Encino Man.
Yes.
And also
Yes.
watching the movies this week, I was constantly confusing Chris O'Donnell with Sean Astin from School Ties. I'm like, it's the same guy, man.
Let's also
Yeah.
not forget that like Encino Man is the American title and the rest of the world California Man. 'Cause-
That's insulting. How dare you, rest
well,
of the world?
and I think
That's
I've
the
talked about
Florida
this
Man
before.
of movie titles.
Well, the thing is like, well, the thing is, we've never heard of Encino, right? And so when I saw Encino Man and it said Encino, I thought Encino was like one of those periods, like Jurassic. And
It does
like,
sound like that, yeah.
And all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Oh, he's from the Encino, you know. like,
Honestly,
period.
watching that movie growing up, I probably did too. Like being on the East Coast, I don't know Encino in California. Like I get the
Yeah.
movie set there, but
And
it
I mean,
does sound prehistoric.
even in Arizona, I didn't know what Encino meant. So
Oh,
yeah,
well, then all of you can
still
fuck
don't.
off.
Still don't.
yeah. No, I think it's just California, which is like, Encino, right? And everyone else on Earth is like, I have no idea what you just said. So,
I guess Pasadena Man doesn't have the same
yeah,
kind of.
Crime
Glenn-
101, man.
Glendale man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, there you go. No, see, Will, the thing I was excited for is that everything about Toy Soldiers presents as, oh, this is going to be kind of like school kids and terrorists, and it's going to be like, ooh, a slightly more grown-up Home Alone, and they're going to get into
Like an
shenanigans.
Agent Cody Banks kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, man, this is an R-rated movie, and it like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it
From the
starts
get-go.
in Colombia, and they
this
just
movie
start throwing
opens-
people out the window, and I'm like,
Yeah.
The start of this movie is the end of Stone Cold, which
Right.
is
Yes.
a crazy way to start the movie.
Yeah. By crazy, you mean the best way to start a movie.
Oh, for sure. People are being thrown out of windows.
The
and- or not even
helicopter
thrown,
shot? Yeah.
forced to- yeah. It's just, oh my God. It's an insane start to this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the movie, honestly, it's fucking awesome. It's like if you take Narcos, like the show, and chuck it in the middle of like, you know, of Major Payne, take out Major Payne, but leave everything else the same, and it dials up. And so essentially, much like honestly, Narcos and things like that, but basically a narco guy has been captured by the Americans and he has been extradited, and his son tries to take out the Supreme Court in Colombia to get him back, misses an opportunity, and so the new plan is to invade America through the southern border. Turns out the American government was right. And then what they're going to do is they're going to kidnap the son of the judge who goes to this boarding school. That kid has been taken out by the government, but they realizes there's a bunch of rich kids of powerful people, and they take the whole school hostage. And that's how it kicks off. But Sean Astin, who is... so this boarding school is a lot of the kids that get expelled from other boarding schools, and those boarding schools exist as well. That's a true thing. And so Sean Astin is kind of like the trouble kid who's kind of like got smart ideas, and it's all about these kids sort of fighting back against the terrorists. So as teenagers, this movie came out, what am I talking, 1991. So by the time it made it over like VHS wise to a random boarding school in the UK, it's like 95. And we're like, what is this movie? And we couldn't get enough of it. We're like, oh, this is amazing. And the thing about it is the production level on this movie, because there are shots where I'm like, there are two like Hueys with like, you know, Black Hawks with guys fast roping, and then an Apache goes by in the foreground. I'm like, the US government was involved in this movie. and it
It's
rules.
great. Dude, him driving the Humvee, like the production on this is insane. I think this movie too came
Yeah.
out at that like sweet spot where I was like what 9 or 10 years old, and I was like, oh, this fucking rules. It's probably seen this before ever seeing like the original Die Hard too. So like it got swept up in the like that genre of Die Hard in or Die Hard on, like Speed and just all of those other kind of someone fighting back against terrorist
Terry's.
the
Yeah.
Terrys. But this one just like I admittedly was a little worried, especially because Will hadn't seen it, that maybe this wouldn't hold up as well because I haven't seen it in years. But boy, howdy, I was wrong. This movie fucking rules, and
Yeah.
hell of a group watch.
And the characters are not they're not the stereotypes you might expect them to be. Like I was really expecting Louis Gossett Jr. to be like a lot more of a stick in the mud, a lot more of like, I've had it up to here with you, but he's so warm and
Hmm.
so like mentoring to these kids that you
Yeah.
just instantly like him. So I wasn't expecting that. There was a lot of depth to each of the kids that I wasn't expecting. It's just not the cliche
Yes.
action movie that
Yeah.
that like you would see it for like a made for TV like TNT film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
You
at,
know.
at every opportunity, right when it does have that chance to go like, oh, let's be a bit cliche, it
Hmm.
doesn't. And for me, especially considering what a Star Trek super nerd you are,
Hmm.
there was one particular moment that I was just counting down the seconds until it happened. Because your reaction on text thread was like, what? What did you, you know?
That one
I
scene is always stuck out to me in this movie because it's like as a kid that age, you're like you don't see shit like that. And it
No,
was
you're
like, oh
like, wait,
boy,
whoa, holy shit. That's when
yeah.
you
well, and
go,
also when Mr. Wheaton, especially at that point in time, they were kind of like built because I think he had just left Star Trek around that time. So I think the thought was he's going to transition to be a movie star.
Hmm.
And so he was like one of the more famous people in that cast. So
Yeah.
for him to get spoiler alerts for anyone who wants to watch this movie the first time, when they shoot him up and he just straight fucking dies, I was like, we got like 35, 40 minutes of movie left and he's gone?
yeah,
Okay.
that's one of my favorite bits because it's like, so Will Wheaton plays like the son of another sort of like a mobster, basically. And
Yeah.
so they're trying to like, oh, we don't want to keep this mobster son. Let's let him go. There's been pressure being put on behind the scenes. Again, stuff like that is in this movie that you've got the mob, they've got prison. This could be a prison movie because you've got all these prison scenes
True.
as
Yeah, it
well.
does.
Hmm.
But it's
This is
like
also
it
go ahead.
escalates to that point where suddenly they're fighting back and Will Wheaton's fought back and it's like, yeah, fuck you, terrorist. And he comes out with the gun and like, and then it goes exactly like how it would go. He doesn't know how to fire an automatic weapon. It goes out of control in his hands and the other guy just fucking drills him.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's why I like this movie. Because it's like, I kept saying it, because I kept saying, but the things I kept texting it, give it time. And then like, yeah, this movie
This
kills
movie
people.
does take it. This movie does take its time. Like, yeah, it's got that crazy like cold open in Colombia where their
Hmm.
assault on like that building. But then it just hard cuts to a day in the life at this school, and it establishes every single one of these characters and their personalities and the relationship
Hmm.
with the warden, the headmaster,
Yeah.
Well, he's Dean. Oh, we
the
haven't
dean,
mentioned,
right?
yes, because Louis Gossett Jr. is Dean, but then we've also got. I kept waiting because
Denham Elliott,
yes,
yeah.
Denham Elliott turns up as like the as the principal, and then the headmaster, and then like we've got what's his name, the guy from Full Metal Jacket, Lee Emery, R. Lee Emery, is that his name?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Hermie, yeah.
Yeah, he just shows up. It's like,
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like,
I honestly forgot he was in this fucking movie
oh, how could you forget?
because I've
Um,
only seen Saving Silverman.
but like the thing about this is like I to watch this I went to my Apple like iTunes store. Because like when I got Apple in Singapore, this is like
You bought this movie in
ages ago.
2006.
This is yeah. This is like 2006. One of the very first purchases I made was Toy Soldiers. Because I'm like, you can't find that movie anywhere. It's
No,
never
no.
streaming
Yeah.
it was never on cable or anything like. And I'm like, no,
See,
no, no.
for me,
This
it
movie's
was on
free.
cable, like growing up, it was on cable like all the time. So
this
strangely enough,
seems like this would be
yeah.
on cable.
I will
nonstop.
say this is the second, at least that I remember, the second Will Wheaton movie we've done. Do you remember the first?
Star Trek. Oh wait, no, he's not in any Star Trek
No,
movies.
hang on. What is the other Will Wheaton movie?
We do Stand By Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I
Yes.
couldn't remember if we had done it or not.
Of course. I
I was
forget
trying to
those.
remember if Sean Astin was also in that movie.
No, but time appropriate. Yeah,
Yeah.
he could have been.
Hmm.
But yeah, this was movie. This is surprising. It's not talked about more, because it's just so much more competently made than the premise would
Yeah.
suggest.
Yes,
And
I completely
it
agree.
looks so good too. I forgot like some
Yeah,
of these lighting shots in it were just fantastic. I had a
And
blast watching this
yeah,
movie.
I also really like, it's it's the fact that like because they're using the school. So
Yeah.
that, again, and I think that bleeds through all three of these movies. The what they're really getting is some fantastic sort of just like I said, the production value of like no, it's all buildings and quads and all this kind of
hmm
stuff. So it looks great and feels very real. But yeah, I've always had such a soft spot for toy soldiers for being like no. Like it didn't. It was made for 14 million. It made 15 million.
Mhm.
It got like 41% on when it comes to reviews and things like that. And I'm kind of like with Willers, I'm surprised more people don't. And I think
Yeah.
it's kind of what you were saying, Ryan, is that it came out in 91 when we were just,
yeah.
we're getting so many
You're
like
right.
movies and things like that and action movies and stuff that it was kind of just like lost.
Mhm.
It's not got a Schwarzenegger or a Stallone or a Willis. It's just,
Ooh, well, hang on.
yeah, it would have been great if we got all of them but playing kids.
Well,
Schwarzenegger on the phone sex line.
Yeah, I have
why
got
does it
my first pubic hair.
yeah, tell me what you're wearing, and then Stallone comes in like, I think the dude's coming.
But I love that how these guys get up to it shows them getting up to their hijinks. They,
Hmm
he's like crafty. He makes the it was like peppermint schnapps in the scope bottle in the mouthwash bottles. That was
Yeah,
great.
See, but that's all classics, and it's like
Yeah,
it's the breaking out like at night and going on shenanigans. Classic. It's the
yeah.
getting down in the village and getting into trouble. Classic. It's the sneaking alcohol in. Classic. It's the warm like the dean, as in like boarding school had rules, but
Mhm.
it also had exceptions to those rules. It was more about sometimes it was the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. Like this whole thing that
hmm
happened with me that I should have got in trouble for, but I didn't because I was right, even though I had beaten this kid up. I'm like, no, I'm right. He's wrong. You're wrong. And if you're going to punish me, you have to punish him 10 times worse. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, I did this whole thing where I wrote this letter. It was such a sarcastic letter. I was asked to write a letter of apology to this family. And the English was their second language. So I get us a
Sorry,
sort
your son is a pussy.
and I write the most just obnoxiously hard to understand letter. But if you speak English as a first language, I'm also not admitting fault, blaming their child. And the very last line I put was, I hope he didn't sustain any permanent injuries. And I even put permanent in quotes, right? Which is basically me, a British way of saying, I hope it hurt.
Yeah.
And I sealed it in this envelope and I'm like, okay. And I handed
I
it.
picture using like a wax stamp too.
Dude, mate, yeah, let's go with the wax stamp. But I
wrote
seal
it
it.
wrote it with a quill.
And I
Hell yeah.
and I give it to my housemaster. And I'm like, okay, there we go, because I'm gonna have to give it. No. So next
You
day.
should re-edit that to like the opening of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Oh, that's great. But like, yeah, next day my housemaster, like we had this whole thing at school, like in boarding schools, like you have that HRA, which basically have to count all your kids are there, like a couple, 3 times a day. It's like prison.
Or if you're not, 5 of them get shot out front.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. The bomb goes off. And so he calls me into his office and there's my letter open and he's opened it up and I'm like, oh shit, here it goes. And he goes, yes, so Ollie, I read your letter. And I'm like, oh, and he goes,
Howard
I've typed it up for you. And he's typed up, he's even got like that final line, even with the italics, and he goes, I just need you to sign it. I go, thanks, sir.
Hell yeah.
That's what I mean. Is like that's why there's so much about these movies. I'm like, nah, that's really how
That's
it
what
works.
it was like. That's crazy.
Yeah, Dave. This is why this was such a fun episode for me.
Yeah.
So
Just
many
know
times,
that after this, you can never mention boarding school ever again.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never mention it. That's ridiculous. What are you saying?
This is the first I'm hearing about this. Yeah.
So yeah, so once the movie kicked in, like Will, again, I'm really honestly, I'm here for Will's opinion on all of this stuff
Definitely.
because I've like been eating this shit up. It's like, yeah, give me more. Because like, once it's serious, you're like, wait, what is this movie?
Yeah, I think what I really liked about this movie this movie in particular is the bad guys are not messing around. Again, it's not the Agent Cody Banks of like, if you do not meet my demands, the weather dominator will go out. Like it's very much like, is my brother out of prison? No. Okay, I'm going to shoot somebody right now, and
Yeah.
then they do it, and you're just like, oh my God, and it's just really, I enjoy it when the threat is real for the characters.
Well, you know the threat
Yeah.
is real because they did have the greatest henchman of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Oh God, what was his name? Now
I'm
I'm
gonna
totally yeah.
Probably Bob.
Yeah.
I kept thinking of
Um,
Bob from Batman for some reason. Like
yeah, he looks like Walter from Big Lebowski if like if the dude had also left
Walt,
his life, you
Walt
know.
Jr. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said he
So
looked like he went to a Bass Pro Shop and just bought the one outfit off of the mannequin. It's like a
yeah.
flannel shirt with a fishing vest. Like
Every time I go back to Arizona, my dad like is like, "Let's go to Shields." This is exactly who I
that's
see
exactly
walking
right.
around
And
like all the
and
Shields.
yet still like strangely not even remotely Colombian at all, considering all the
Well,
other guys are.
I even told you guys the villain, the Colombian villain, he's definitely white and he's a Russian bad guy in Lost. He's
That's
Mikhail.
it's which is crazy. But at the time, like it's totally believable that
Me
He
too.
an
does a
actor.
great
accent,
Colombian
too.
accent.
The
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
thing the only other thing I know him from is from was it Wes Craven's Wishmaster? Like he plays the Wishmaster.
Oh
And
yeah,
he
yeah.
does a silly voice in that too,
So
and it's
that's
great.
what you were talking about. Okay, so
Yeah.
the guy we were talking about is Michael Champion,
That's right.
who
Fucking
turns up
great
as a
name.
bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop, a bad guy, I think, in Fatal Beauty, a bad guy in Total Recall, and a bad guy in Toy
Okay.
Soldiers, to name just a few of
Yeah.
the movies. But like, as
Hell of a
soon as
run.
he's in the movie, I'm, oh shit, you know.
Yeah. You think that guy got scripts like in the 90s where he's like, I wonder what part I'm playing. Like, oh, this
Oh,
is
the bad guy.
shithead
Okay.
henchman number 2. All right, that's me.
And that's the thing is like movies like this live and die by how good like the henchmen are.
Yeah.
And this one, like he is so good that he elevates all the others who are like ponytail guy and sleeveless guy. It's just like
Right. Yeah.
forgettable like cannon fodder, you know?
No, he's like a great number 2. Like he's fantastic.
For sure. Like if you would have told me he was also in Passenger 57, I'm like, yeah, sure.
Fuck
okay.
yeah! I
Oh,
would have
yeah.
believed that one. Oh man! By the way, do we have to do best plane movie?
Movie.
Executive decision. Passenger 57. And
Oh my god.
The
Oh my
one
God.
the one Wade Boggs episode from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes. Lock it in.
Where they quote those two movies?
Dude, I think I remember I was reading somewhere that I think Corey Feldman was originally earmarked for one of these roles. I think he'd be good, but like apparently couldn't do it because he was being treated for heroin addiction.
Oh, how out of
I
character.
think what's like cool is that all the like the main actors in this, like he would have stuck out like a sore thumb to me
Yeah.
with this cast. Like I felt like the ensemble of the students together worked really fucking well together.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
got the asthma kid, the earring kid, black guy.
Yeah. All the types.
Latino guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, like-
AC Slater. Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say that from my own boarding school experience, there was significantly less hanging out in our underwear at my boarding school.
Boo.
Yeah,
This
way
should be
less
a-
tidy whities and tidy readies and wife fronts. I'm like,
Yeah, there was a lot of hanging out in underwear, shirtless,
Wrestling.
nudity, wrestling, in all these movies that made me be like,
Yeah.
what? Okay, what really is the point of boarding school? Is there like
It was
you
the
know,
90s.
as
yeah.
Ryan texted on the thread, this movie is very gay coded. And
It
I'm
is
like,
very
yeah,
gay.
no, you are
Yes.
not wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
But
I did.
I mean that by today's standards too.
Oh,
Like,
mate, I
sure,
think
I
by
was
those
talking
standards,
yeah.
I think there's a here you go. This in fact boils it down. With the exception of one news reporter in one scene, an audience member during a press conference, and the phone sex operator, there's no speaking roles for women in this film. So, in fact, there's
and
hardly
the
any
movie's
women.
good. Coincidence?
They failed the test.
Oh, the Bechdel test. Yeah.
I was going to say the bechamel, but I think that's a cheese. Because this movie is pretty fucking cheesy. I'll tell you that much. But
Yeah, saved it.
I could watch this movie. I've watched it so many times. I can put it on. It's just a happy place movie for me.
Yeah, I could put it on right now and just be perfect.
It's good. It really is like it's right there in the middle. Whereas like Die Hard is maybe like just thinking back then, like Die Hard is very much like an adult action film, and then Home Alone is very much geared towards kids. This kind of sits right in the middle. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like the holy trilogy of
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think it's a great
Of 90s
unofficial
action
trilogy.
films. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but to your point, Will, like what you were saying, like this isn't slapsticky or cheesy. If they were using fucking banana peels or some like Rube Goldberg machine to like trap these
Cherry
guys,
bombs, you know.
something like that. But no, it's all
Yeah.
established. Am I misremembering? Because we clocked it when he confiscates their um, their alcohol mouthwash drink. I was like, oh, I sure hope that doesn't become a Molotov cocktail later.
It
Does it?
doesn't. No,
Yeah, I was
No.
like,
no,
But
it
because you
doesn't.
had seen this movie before, I was like waiting for that. I was like, oh, okay.
that's what I thought. I'm like, I don't know why I had that in my head. Like, oh, this, because in typical movie fashion, it's Chekhov's Molotov,
Right.
which is very difficult to say.
It's honestly in this movie. It was just Chekhov's bullets. They just shot motherfuckers. It's pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they roll up to the school, you have the one security guard who is armed.
I love it. And Will's like, "Oh my god, he's got a gun." I go, "Give it time."
Yeah, that was crazy. Just like I'm like, why does the like private school security guard have a gun?
Yeah,
Again,
and
then I remembered-
Columbine.
I remembered it was America, so I was like,
any
oh,
other,
okay.
yeah,
got
and
it.
then in any other movie, he would have been like changing shifts with a previous security guard. He's like, "Hey, man, how long till retirement or something like
Yeah,
that?"
but
He's
he's
like,
talking about his kids.
can't wait to get home to my wife and kids. Just has a picture of her in the wallet.
40 years of work. Today's the day. Finally
Yes.
going on that cruise.
Here's my son, Dead Meat Jr. Finally going on the cruise. Yeah.
But like,
But you're right.
there's so many other things like the pots and pans. As far as punishment, we didn't have that, but we had like things that you had to do as a younger kid. Like we had bread and milk. So like every sort of like after the first 2 periods, there was a break of about 45 minutes where there was bread and milk, and every house got we were given a series of like loaves of bread, a whole bunch of milk. Some of it was chocolate, and then you get butter, and everyone just makes toast and drinks milk at like break time. And then but then we were ordered by our sixth formers to orchestrate a heist, and we had to steal everybody's bread and milk, which was great. We robbed everybody. Everyone was basically on threatens of beatings by our sixth formers. We had to get out of class early, go and pretend to be from all the other places, stole the entire school's bread and milk in East House. We were just there it was like, a pile of bread in front of us, like, Tony from like, say hello to my little friend. It was great when it was a
I
classic.
picture you sitting on the loaves like some sort of
Yeah, it's a throne.
king, like, tell me why you feel you deserve this bread.
And then like another one, like it was again, like literally we did exactly this was like, we didn't do it, but I know the guys in my year did, but they broke in and they moved the headmaster's office completely outside, perfectly, everything in just the right
Great bit.
place.
It's such a legitimately funny prank that like even if that like I was still working at a school and that happened to me, I'd be like, I can't even be mad. That's really funny.
I forget what episode we were talking about, but we were talking about like, oh, maybe it's Teen Wolf. We were talking about Meatballs. There's a bit in that where they take like the camp director, all of his stuff, or they keep like moving him while he's sleeping out to different parts of like the middle of the camp. Or one time he's just like on a raft in the middle of the lake and he wakes up and rolls over. I'm like, those are just good bits, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they did
funny.
the same thing in School Ties as well, like when they move a guy's car. And so like these are, like I said, this movie, all these movies, it's pure, these are basically documentaries from my life. We did like the bit where Denholm Elliott turned up, and I like Ryan, the implication that Indiana Jones was a professor at the school. I like that.
Yeah.
But he was too busy off, robbing some, poor people. I just kind of like the whole idea of, does anybody speak English here?
Yeah.
I just Denholm Elliott, the guy is incredible.
He's great.
Yeah.
Pick up that banana. Favorite line in the movie.
Great. Yeah.
Apparently improvised. Apparently that was Sean Astin asked for a banana right before.
I cannot understate how good Louis Gossett Jr. is in this movie.
Oh, he's awesome. I was waiting for there to be a little bit of backstory and be like, and I'm glad they didn't do this, but I was waiting for when Arlie Emery showed up, just be like, my old like comrade.
Yeah,
from
you could
Vietnam.
definitely see
Like
that. Yeah.
I was waiting for that to happen. Just be like, haven't seen you since the war.
He has literally no combat training.
No.
Which comes up later in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not go well for him as well. I mean, like the thing is, like I said, it's left turn, left turn, left turn, left turn.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here we go, and then like Wheaton, he gets taken out, and then it's like whenever they have a plan, something derails.
But also learning about their family, because all of these kids, like Will Wheaton's character, his father is like head of the mafia, right? Like he's the mafia guy. Like all of these kids have dads in very high ranking positions. They don't want to mention their mothers at all. That's not important.
Right.
Just really, again, the bechamel test really threw the short straw on this one.
Parmesan test.
But I love that. Like he's, he hates his father, and like that whole thing comes up. So after there's, what is it, like the press conference with all of the parents there,
Yeah.
like talking about their kids, and he's like, it's just funny to me that the one mafia guy is there.
But then they address that, and then of course the kid dies, and then what does the mob do? They murder the guy in prison. We get a prison murder in this movie as well.
Oh,
That seems nuts. Yeah.
maybe we should explain that a little bit more because what's going on is the Colombian drug lords make a deal with the guy in the mob. Like, it's the Colombian villain's brother is in jail with some of the mob guys, and they work out like, oh, Will Wheaton's there. We have respect for each other, so we'll
That is
trade.
established, yeah.
We'll make sure that Will Wheaton's let go. Will Wheaton doesn't want to leave, grabs a gun, shoots a guard, and then Will Wheaton's killed. And that's where you got mafia versus Colombian terrorists, which is
in
awesome.
a boarding school movie.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like it's shot like that fucking scene in whatever that Mission Impossible movie is. Like the way
Yeah.
it's shot, like
Yeah.
all the gates open, there's toilet paper fire everywhere, and the guy just gets fucking bonked and tossed over the thing, and you get this silly ragdoll death. It's amazing.
It's like the director of Runaway Train like stepped in for
Yeah.
a scene.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time. Boy, I still talk about that movie. That movie won me the fuck over. Like,
So good.
That was amazing. I do like Will's observation. This school is still a bit less dangerous than Hogwarts. It's
Yeah,
like,
way more kids die at Hogwarts. Like it's crazy. So still safer.
And also, there's a fucking bomb in this movie. Like, not only has he taken
Yeah.
the school hostage, he's got a like a radio
Brilliant.
controlled bomb attached to his wrist.
And the way they
Buzz
figured
Lightyear
that out,
computer. Yeah.
the way they find the nerdy kid, and like, it's like he's got his remote control thing, and then the way they break into the office, but that's
Switcheroo.
explained because he's like, how do
Yeah.
you think I got the things for the
The
exam?
furniture out.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's like this is how we do shit. You know, it's like it's
Well, he says, "How do you think I got the furniture out?" Which leads me to so many more questions as to how he got the furniture out.
Yeah, you got it through the air vent? Like
That's
what do you
that was my first thought. I'm like, huh. I didn't even question it. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Not he went down there, unlocked the door, and carried it out. That was like the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah, no.
So I'm still going through our text thread when we were talking about all the gangster guys: Mickey the Nose, Johnny the Hand, Left Hand Steve, Tommy Exposition of the New Jersey Exposition.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like this is one of these movies I hard recommend.
Definitely.
As
Yeah,
far
yeah.
as like, and it was funny, like when we sort of like got to the end, Ryan was just basically like, I think both of you was like, so this one wins. Why bother with the other movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just like, I don't think we need to really watch. Well, one, I think two, and I hadn't seen School Ties, so I can't speak to that. But like, I think this this felt to me like what my idea of a boarding school was. Like they're all staying at the school. It feels like a campus,
Mhm.
whereas Rushmore just feels like a school they go to during, like they leave during the evening, right? Like
No, I'm
all
not
of this
sure.
is set in. Yeah, I mean, because the parents are picking the kids up. Like there's extra.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
This
yeah.
all
Oh,
feels like it's
yeah.
at that school.
Well, you see, funny enough, so boarding schools aren't sort of like boarding only. So they were boarding kids and day kids. So like some of us stayed there, some of us were international kids, and it was kind of like Harry Potter, and some of them would just stick around. And then you had the day kids as well. So it's kind of interesting. Like there was slightly different sort of like weird sort of relationships inside the school as
see.
well. Because you're the day kids now, we stay the night, and then like I said, when you're outside of school, then you can dress the way you want. And you can kind of get into shenanigans, but like during the day, we're all dressed like Rushmore or dressed like School
Oh, okay.
Ties.
I did think too, like for a school this size in Toy Soldiers, I did appreciate there's like different age groups of the kids, but there's really not a ton of students going to this school at any given time. It's like 90 kids.
Yeah, like,
They do
Yeah.
account like,
Like-
oh
like-
yeah,
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 you're right.
Fucking massive.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
that was
like,
strange to me.
I think
First
our
time I
school
clocked that.
was, I think, about 800 kids, but it was a 120-acre school.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is insane. And my kids, when they were in Phoenix, they were about to go to a high school of 10,000 children. Yeah, man. Fuck that. One of my favorite stupid parts of the movie, though, like it makes me laugh every single time, is that we've got this sort of like moment where basically Sean Astin has broken out of school to get them information, but he has to break back in, and he has to get it back
love
in
it.
before we have like the count. There are 2 black kids in this school.
Yeah.
They select one of the black kids to get counted twice. I'm like, guys, just get Chris O'Donnell or Matt Damon, like, you know, the ones that no one can tell apart, get them. Like, no, we're gonna get really. That's the bit that makes me laugh every time. Get back in line. I've already counted you. Oh, how did you know?
That That whole sequence is so good though, because it really does pile on the pressure of, I think he's got something like 15 minutes. It's crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not even during a period, it's during their like recess.
Yeah.
So they're all outside in the courtyard. He has to break into the thing, rush the fuck out of there, get to the military, warn them, like give them, I think it was a map he had drawn, right?
Yeah, and they do.
Like,
They
yeah.
also the drawings of all the bad guys, locations,
Right.
locations of the weapons, and all that kind of stuff. They did some pretty good work.
So but that was post Will Wheaton getting obliterated.
Nope.
No,
pre-
that's prior.
Yeah.
Because I know, remember Will Wheaton was drawing. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that was
so
after they find his book. But
That's
yeah.
right.
And he gets there, and they're like, "Well, we can't let you back in. We don't know what's going on." He's like, "No, you don't understand. If I don't go back, if I'm missing, they're going to shoot five kids
people.
every 10 minutes or so."
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
outrageous.
and they're like, "We're the army. We don't care about that."
Yeah.
But then we get that Humvee chase where that is Sean Astin driving.
That is him, dude.
in
Yeah.
every single scene.
In a
And-
war game style fucking chase.
Yeah. And it was good though. Like I said, he's doing like, dude, he's like,
Yeah.
he was committing to that. Like he's
Yeah.
skidding that thing and he's doing some pretty fast stuff. And I'm like, and that's just Sean
And you
Astin.
get the helicopter landing, and Louis Gossett Jr. gets out. I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
This movie costs $800 million.
Yeah, I think the only like, so I have seen some of it was lent by the Texas National Guard and things like that. And apparently that school is actually like a military academy.
That's where
so-
Major Payne was born. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of like
boring.
there's a little sort of like a lot of, I think probably they were able to cut costs a little bit by having sort of like some military cooperation, things like that. Because like I said, you know, once
Yeah,
the,
dude.
I mean, seriously, you know, when the AH-64 like the Apache just appears and takes out the
Yeah.
guys, I'm just like,
When
at
it
that point,
lands at like
rock
the
hard.
end of the like the credits rolling, like there's helicopters landing in the courtyard. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, this movie rules.
Now it would be all like, I would just be a fucking CGI mess of who gives a shit.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about sort of like these old movies. That's why I like
It's
things
so
like,
charming. Yeah.
yeah, but like when you had to do something with a helicopter or a plane, you had to get a plane or a helicopter, and like
Yeah.
take that 1,000 times over CGI, like any time apart from in the Avatar movies. Because I don't know how James Cameron does it, but he makes fake shit look so real.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm enjoying it. This looks great. It's like, don't know how he did it, but that's amazing.
I was hoping you would bring up Avatar again.
But I do like when we do get the special forces guys finally turn up. It's like the SWAT team from Die Hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
or I was gonna say The Rock, where they all just die immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Louis Gossett Jr. gets back and he finds the guy and he's just like, I don't even know what happened. Did he fall down? Like, I fell on my. He's like, I fell on my keys. You go on without me. Here's my gun.
Yeah. I pulled a
And he
hamstring.
proceeds to
You need to
climb the
go.
building and he breaks in and.
That's my favorite part as well, is that you get
Fucking
that like
headshot.
Louis Gossett Jr. jumps through heroically and then does nothing, takes a fucking bullet, just gets shot. It's the other
Yeah.
guys that shoot the bad guy. It's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real like, thank God I saved you kind of moment where you're just like, what? You didn't do anything.
Yeah. He created the distraction because, like, none of the kids really. I don't even think Will Wheaton's character actually kills one of the terrorists.
no, not at all.
I know he shoots out. That's what I'm saying. Like, none of the kids really do any harm in this. because it wouldn't-
they knock like the
They
they
do-
bonks.
they
They
bonk.
bonk some. They bonk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a bit of a bonking. And
You get a bathroom. You get a bathroom bonk. You get the pots and pans bonk in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's a bonk heavy movie. Yeah.
In
As
British,
most
we're
movies
talking
should
about
be.
a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
That's another bit. That's another part that always makes me laugh. Is you've got that sort of like the rules of if you can hear the water running, it's safe. But then like the kid has to leave, and then there's the terrorist, and he might be a terrorist, but he takes his like his
His
cleanliness
hygiene very for sure.
seriously. He's like just luxuriously washing his hands like he's about to do surgery. I'm like, dude, did you just pee all over your hands? Like, what are we doing here? He's like,
Yeah.
but you even get that one close up of his hands and like, yeah, wash them. Love it. Perfect movie. No notes.
Not a better hand washing sequence has been done since the to-do list.
Oh no. There's the I like Ryan's Can't Wait for Toy Soldiers 2, Day of the Soldado. I would have
That sounded a lot funnier when I typed it.
based on pranks pulled by Ollie Pettigrew. But yeah, all in all, this movie fucking rules.
Yeah.
If you like Die Hard, if you like Home Alone, if you like Predator, if you like things that blow up, and you like Narcos, and honestly, if you just like movies, this movie rules.
This is a movie.
If you like Sean Astin and you hate Will Wheaton, this is the movie for you.
This is the movie for you.
Last thing I wanted to point out was the remote control quotes airplane.
Yes.
Yeah, what is
Which
that?
looked like just a round piece of wood. I'm like, there's no way that would fly.
It absolutely would and does. Do you think that was special effects? Hell no. Give me a second though. I did actually.
Or maybe it was like foam. There's no way you're gonna. It just seemed like.
Well, its power to weight ratio is clearly more than it weighs, and so that's why it's able to fly. But yeah, no, there was a thing. It's called like a roundo or something like that. There you go. The remote control plane Vice used the team was the Round to It, a creation of an Austin inventor who'd previously used it as an attraction during Texas Longhorns football games. There you go. U.S. Army assisted with the climax for a symbolic fee of $8 billion. Yeah. But they lent 4 Black Hawks and 1 Apache.
They enlisted all of the students.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is great. The FBI commandos were portrayed by actual members of the Army Reserve. Man, they were shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great advertisement for that.
Real B
they were
team,
like the guys from Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
The villains were Virginia National Guard. Oh, that could have been fun. Wow, this is great.
I love that it used all like local.
Yeah,
the school is in Virginia, right?
I believe so. Yes. They had a bunch of kids on it, but they didn't have to work. Like crew consisted of nearly 200 people, 6-day weeks. Underage extras only worked from Monday to Thursday. Substitute teachers were hired to chaperone them. Extras were paid $55 a day. The school's real boarders followed their regular schedule during filming. Can you imagine doing geography and a fucking Apache goes like just past your window?
Yeah. That sounds awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'd go to that school now.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, again, I say this shit, but then stuff like that would happen at my school. So we had, not only did we have the CCF, so the Combined Cadet Force, like your JROTC, right? So we had weapons on the premises. We had our own armory. We had a shooting range. But outside of that, the British Army would send helicopters once a year or twice a year that we would then do drills of how to get out of a helicopter and like to do combat, how to get in. They would fly. So we would have British Army helicopters landing on the South Lawn in front of the school, just like this fucking movie. And we'd go and play soldiers with fucking weapons.
So you were at, you were at this school when you saw this movie and you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
I just wish in my heart of hearts that some Terrys would come over here.
Dude, we had a whole armory filled. It was epic. And then honestly, and then so then we had the Dunblane school shooting and they banned basically weapons in the UK and we had to hand in 90% of them. We were able to keep on some of our blank firing weapons and our SA-80s, but there was one day where it was like, all right, guys, we've got to turn in the weapons because we've got this new law. No one disagreed with it. And guess what? We never had another school shooting. But it was that our CO, our commanding officer was like, all right, guys, everyone calm down today. We're going to go to the shooting range and we're going to shoot everything.
All the bullets.
So who wants to shoot the Magnum 42 and who wants to shoot we had long range rifles and everything. We got to fire everything. It was awesome. But yeah, if any Terrys had made the mistake of messing with our school, they would have regretted it.
That's right.
Yeah. So you guys had a shooting and then you all gave up your gun? I'm really not following.
Yes, I know. Sounds
the
crazy.
The protocol is you have a shooting and you get more guns and you put more guns in the school.
Yeah,
it was the 80s.
Yeah. We didn't do any thoughts and prayers. We just turned in all our weapons and we never had another school shooting in. Crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like a coincidence to me.
So let's move on from terrorism to antisemitism with school ties.
Finally. Why'd you look at me when you said that?
So yeah, so Toy Soldiers 1991, like I said, kind of came and went, didn't exactly do sort of like too much, but 1992 School Ties turns up. And this is the one, it's written by Dick Wolf. You'd know that guy's name. He does a lot of television. You see that guy as a producer. He says it's kind of loosely based on some experiences he had, but at the same time, tis what it is. But this movie made for 18 million, only made 14 million. Again, didn't really people are not happy with these boarding school movies. Apparently not everyone had my experience in life. But this one, it's bonkers. You got Brendan Fraser, Matt Damon, Chris O'Donnell, Cole Hauser, Ben Affleck, Anthony Rapp. It's like it's a banger of a cast.
And my
This
boy
was.
Zelchko, I can't remember his last name. I just know his first name because he always plays like a scummy villain and like legal, like he's in Suits and Damages, and he's just all in these like modern prestige type of shows, and he's always so good. He's always so good.
Yeah, that was their teacher, their French teacher.
Yeah.
I just was watching In Bruges last night with the roommates, and he's in Bruges.
He's a good character actor.
Yeah,
I've got to rewatch that.
it really holds up.
It's
super
such
well.
a good movie. I remember watching it when it came out because I remember the trailer was great, and he's like, you know, that great Colin Farrell line, whatever he says, is like, you know, I'd like it if I was retarded, but I'm not, so I don't. You know, it's just like he's like Colin Farrell is a gem in that, as is like Brendan Gleeson.
Oh,
I remember it being so funny, but I think the funniest part was when Ray Fiennes gets on the phone the first time.
Yes.
And it's they're reading the letter or whatever, and it's like fucking, it's just
so many F words.
It's
I still
Ray
have
Fiennes.
not seen that movie.
Mate, it's fucking great.
Dude,
It's
awesome.
I will watch it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great. It's funny, and it's incredibly dark.
Yeah.
Like-
Once we start doing Bruges movies, I'll put that on the top of the list.
But like, yeah, that's one
It's
I
like
highly
a fairy
recommend.
tale, right? Yeah.
Is that,
What's
that's,
remind me the director of that movie?
it's the one that did Banshees of Inisherin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
Paddy O'Shaughnessy.
You got to be correct. I'm sure that's it.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Oh, Shag Hennessy?
You mean Principal O'Shaughnessy? Get out! Okay, let's see. Hang on. It's we're close. Martin McDonagh.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That's right. But no,
He
it's
directed everything. Yeah, okay.
it's a fantastic movie. Just my favorite part, just real quick, and then we'll get out of In Bruges. But my favorite part is after all, like the telegram message, he leaves. He's like, you know, I have to, you know, leave a message for your fucking secretary, and I just love her note. I'm not the secretary. I'm the co-owner. And he gives that to Brendan Gleeson. I was dying.
Yeah, no, mate, it's great. It's a great movie. What a random choice. What brought you guys to watch that last night?
My roommate Michael, I think because he was auditioning for something, and I think he needed to get into like kind of a headspace that he's like, I heard this movie kind of is along the same lines, and I was like, oh, I own it, so let's just put it on.
Yeah, to do with the Irish accent, because that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget that.
Have you seen Tommy Lee Jones in Blown Away?
Perfection.
Flawless. Yeah. Colin Farrell could learn a thing or two.
That's right. I mean, we all could.
Yeah.
So School Ties. School Ties, we go from a 90s movie to another 90s movie, but this one is set in 1955 at another exclusive prep school where it's an interesting kind of like, basically the way it's happening is it's a kind of rare thing, but Brendan Fraser plays sort of like more of a like a, was he Philadelphia or something like that, where he's sort of like where he's originally from. Kind of grows up on the streets. There's a lot of greasers around. We see that he likes to work with his fist, but we find out that he's a very accomplished high school quarterback. And basically, this exclusive prep school, St. Matthew's Academy, essentially brings him in as a ringer. They're like, we've been getting our ass kicked by our rival school, and we just want to have a chance to win. So we're like, you can get a scholarship to come to our school, and this school is basically like a funnel of the rich elites to go to Harvard, and when they go to Harvard, then they go into government, and then they just rob this country blind, basically.
Then they make Facebook, yes.
So it's kind of like he's sort of like the outsider coming in, but on top of that, there's also kind of like the sort of the undercurrent of he's Jewish. Goodness gracious me! But David Green.
I was worried they wouldn't establish that like really early on, but boy was I glad they did. Because even before he gets to the school, it was so funny to me. I'm like, first of all, I just didn't like this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just not that like it's fine. It's a movie I never would have watched younger, and now that I'm older, I'm like, I now know why it just didn't pique my interest.
You're more pro-Semitism.
No, I was too busy watching Toy Soldiers, man.
Yeah, not enough guns, not enough terrorists.
It's not like for a football, like, yeah, you say that the fact that he's a quarterback, like, yeah, it leads up to like one half-assed football game. Sure. It's not really about the football so much.
Yeah.
But like the early on establishment of the characters where you have, like, he's at the diner and you have like the greasers, and it's just fucking, and then all of them wearing the exact same outfit. Every single one. Like the people in there, like he gets into a fight. You get the bikers that pull up. all the same outfits. You get the guys with the white t-shirts all on the top, all the same outfit. And I was like, what is
And they had a dance off.
Yeah.
maybe, maybe. I guess I was hoping for more of a streets on fire type of thing.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah.
everybody always is. But it's like, so that, the scene that right at the beginning, it's like 28 cents for gas. Whew, God.
Ugh.
So, but then they say, they get into a bit of thing, and I love it that the woman that owns the thing, she goes, "Take it to the alley." It's like, oh, this is a regular thing,
And they do.
and they do.
Yeah.
And there's a big old punch up that goes on, and then
A
basically
rumble.
a rumble, exactly. The coach. Why do I know the coach? I know the
Oh, he's the bar owner in Roadhouse.
son of a bitch. That's it.
Yeah. He's also from Lost. He's John Locke's dad in Lost. That's
Whatever.
where I know him from.
You keep everything's from Lost with you. But yeah, no, that's right. I was watching, going, I know this guy, and it was on the tip of my
That's
tongue,
funny.
and it was like,
Mhm.
thank you, Will. That was going to
Yeah.
keep me awake another day.
for a good Buick called.
Yeah.
But then, like, this is again where it goes. Like all of my notes are like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Because I'm like, shit, this looks like my school again. And it's like chapel 3 times a week. I'm like, we had to do it 4 times. Prep school,
Brag.
guilty as charged. Tribunal of prefects, yes and no. I mean, we did have prefects and stuff like that, but we didn't get to decide on punishments. But it's like it again, just so much like, pretty. Apart from the fact they're playing like football, like instead of rugby, that's basically
Yeah.
the only difference in this movie. Plus, yeah, there wasn't really much like racism at my school. There was
Do
more
they-
judgment of poor people, I think.
and
As there should be.
And
Yeah.
currently, did they establish where this school is?
Wasn't it Massachusetts or something
I was
like that?
gonna say because
Yeah, that
they
makes
were
sense.
bringing up Harvard so much.
Yeah.
I thought it was
and
Massachusetts.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are in it, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely Massachusetts.
Though you did notice how like Ben Affleck's name was very deep in the opening credits compared to like Chris O'Donnell, Matt Damon,
Yeah.
like Brendan Fraser. I mean, also just like because Mrs. and I had just watched The Mummy the day before, and I'm like,
Lee
Brendan
Cronin's
Fraser.
The Mummy?
No,
Damn
no,
it, you
no.
got there before me.
No, the one with Tom Cruise.
Ah.
Is that Brendan Fraser? Man, what a handsome bastard!
He's good looking in this, yeah.
He is a good
He
looking
just
dude.
from that time period of that period of the 90s, like dude, he was unstoppable.
Absolutely.
Like I said, like I've already mentioned, Encino Man,
George of
this
the Jungle.
one. Then,
George-
like I mentioned, he finally graduated George of the Jungle. Which I mixed up George of the Jungle and Tarzan, which was one of the Skarsgårds. But it's funny to me that he like ends up graduating to then go on to Harvard, which was going to be one of the other movies that we picked, which was
What's the one? Joe
oh
Joe
my God.
Pesci with honors.
Oh my God, with honors, yes, thank you.
Funny because Mrs. made the exact same joke. She's like, this is a prequel to like with honors. And I'm like, he goes to Harvard. And I'm like,
mean,
I said
yeah.
to her, the only reason we didn't do it is because that's a Harvard movie, not a boarding school movie.
I think it's like 40 years apart, but sure.
Hey, worked for me. But then, so essentially, like, it's kind of interesting how, like, honestly, the first hour, if not more, of this movie is just about him sort of just adapting to
Yeah.
prep school life. Like, so he's got a scholarship, but instead of like he's having to serve the guys at dinner, but he's really, really good at football, so he kind of gets in. He's pretty much he ingratiates himself pretty quickly, by making fun of the French teacher. The French teacher's an asshole. I mean, there was one point where I go, "Are we about the Dead Poet Society this sitch?"
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Where the guy that's failing French is like, "Oh, he's gonna kill himself."
I
Doesn't.
thought that's where we were going.
Me too, honestly. And I'm like, I've seen this
100%.
before, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
But I didn't know how he was gonna do it. I'm like, is he gonna light himself on fire?
Yeah,
like,
it was-
what? I didn't know what
Yeah.
the fuck was going on. I just know, like,
While reciting his French verbs.
yeah, was it a hang? I don't know what did he poison himself? Because they didn't really
Maybe he took.
see, right?
I don't know. It's unclear. as
I
to
thought
what
I
he
missed
did.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the movie they just say he had a nervous breakdown, and I was like, oh, that's what we were leading up to, like, because everything about the scene is shot like, oh, he's about to kill himself.
Yeah, for sure. Because they're all
So-
looking for him. He's been missing. He had this huge incident with the teacher, and
yeah.
they can't find him anywhere. And then they're like running around the school in their little pajamas. Like, wait a minute, the French light's on, and then they go in there. He's not there, or they find him like I for sure thought it was going to be a DPS situation.
I wonder if that's a reshoot situation because I'm willing to bet he did commit suicide at one point in the story, and maybe because there is so much anti-Semitism and Nazism, they were like, "Hey, you got to pull back on one of these things, and we're not pulling back on anti-Semitism."
I
Like,
yeah,
we are keeping that in the movie.
it's unfortunate because I think it would have added a little more like gravity to
Mhm.
all of the other incidents like after that.
Yeah,
Instead, they
'cause
just card him off and you don't fucking see him again. Like that's
because
it.
it seems to
Yeah.
be so the sort of the outside of like just the basic like just like the direct anti-Semitism and sort of just like that whole
Yeah, the fun
aspect
stuff.
is is like the sort of the underlying sort of thing about it is the pressure on these kids to succeed.
Sure.
Like with Matt Damon, who's like the smaller kid who's just been replaced by Brendan Fraser,
A real Rudy.
whose older brother, yeah, right, whose older brother gets like the Hall of Fame and is at Harvard, and he's a fifth generation to go to the school or whatever it is, and he has to go to Harvard. And it's got this whole like again, kind of like that kid in Rudy is also saying like I have to be here on the team because I'm a legacy, and if I leave, and so it's kind of like this. If we fail French, I don't get into Harvard. If I don't get into Harvard, I don't get the great
My
job. If I
life's
don't get the
ruined,
great job,
yeah.
I'm never going to be president. And it's just like it's this whole like sort of like thing that these kind of like that these boys are
I
kind of having to deal with.
I for sure thought there was going to be some more like some reveal almost in like an apt pupil kind of way where the teacher was this like German
Oh,
guy. That would have
yeah.
been
good
like
reference,
very
by
like
the way.
I watch a lot of these movies. I had to type. But like that's something like that where Brendan Fraser would like learn that this guy was a Nazi or something like that. And
Right.
add just this level of like unease, but he's just a fucking asshole.
Where he just turns to camera and he goes, I did not see that coming.
Right. Wink. And then he does the fucking Tarzan thing. George of the Jungle. Goddamn.
Well, he does do the Tarzan call.
I know. That's why I
Yeah.
was confused.
But so then like another part of the whole thing as well as we established this the whole thing about like the honor code system, which is essentially like if something does go wrong, the school like the pupils, the students all have to sign an honor code, and if something goes wrong, the students in a way have to kind of decide the punishment as well. So they all promise to sort of like not be that kind of way. But then the interesting thing as well, like so David turns up and like Ryan says, it's very quickly established that he is Jewish. He's got a dad who's like, you got to take stuff seriously. You got to do Rosh Hashanah, all this kind of stuff. And then once you get to the school, the sort of casual anti-Semitism that is kind of like thrown around. Weirdly enough, I remember that too. From boys like as a kid, not even understanding.
Yeah, you talk about it constantly.
Yeah, but like being honest is like hearing those
Yeah,
things, like
yeah,
not
yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
what was being said, not even really understanding like how messed up it was until I sort of started getting a bit older and I go, wait a minute,
And
that's not a joke. That's just racism.
they're using like slang and vernacular that is like at its core just truly awful towards Jewish people.
Yeah.
So but for me, I'm like, it's the idea of writing that into a script. I'm like, what's the worst fucking thing I can think of to write? And then they say all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm still like confused as to that. So he gets there and then he hears all of this anti-Semitism. So he decides to hide his Judaism. So he takes off his Star of David, puts it into like the thing. But his last name was his original last name like Greenblatt? Like I don't understand how they wouldn't clock that he's Jewish, except that Brendan Fraser does not look Jewish at all. I don't know.
I mean, they did cut the scene where they're in pottery class and
the circumcision scene.
He molds himself a foreskin.
Yeah.
That would have been a great, like, it would have been a really interesting subplot of him just like being like
my
figuring
God.
out how to shower and not shower at certain times.
National Lampoon School Ties. Right? Like you could see.
It's a brisk 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Actual.
I
You
apologize
can't
to
say
everyone.
that.
I mean, you did bring that up, Ryan, because like they all do shower together quite a bit, and you're like,
Yeah.
how are they not putting this together? You know?
That's
Hey,
not
wait
how
a
he said
minute.
it. What is your exact quote? Because it was
Yeah.
hilarious in the
I
text.
don't remember. My phone's over there. I don't know. I don't remember. Fucking pull it up and read it.
It
I
was
don't remember.
something to do with the schmeckel.
Oh yeah.
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 It was-
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a fucking like it's a Eastern Promises type shower fight.
Yes, we get that's exactly what I put when we get the Eastern Promises, just like
they're all just in there fucking helicoptering. Like, what the hell?
But
like straight up sword fight.
So I mean, honestly, what I think the movie does very well is how David turns up and he's cool. He's successful quarterback. Everybody likes him. I mean, Matt Damon's not girlfriend is positively frothy.
I thought that was his fucking sister.
Yeah, but like, but it's like she's like dancing with Matt Damon, sees Brendan Fraser. I mean, like I said, we've talked about how bloody handsome and tall and like just and she is absolutely.
She calls him and asks him out.
Yeah. And then so then everything's going great, everything's going smooth, and then you get that moment where Matt Damon's had just a bunch of
It's after the football game?
It's after they've won the football game. Everyone's kind of happy. One of the sort of ex-teachers or something or alumni is a bit drunk. And he drops we couldn't have gone to that school. We would never take a Jew. And I'll tell you, Matt Damon, to his credit.
Go on.
Yes. Oh, the joy on his face as he's like, a Jew.
Well, we have to explain how they won that football game because it's hilarious.
Yes, it is actually. Okay, so it's the homecoming game. It's against the biggest rival. It's the whole reason he is there. And like I said, Matt Damon has just seen at halftime his brother get put into the Hall of Fame and celebrated. And Matt Damon has, of course, also been basically replaced by Brendan Fraser. Why? Because Brendan Fraser outweighs him by about 100 pounds and he's 7 feet taller.
Right.
But yeah, Ryan, describe how do we...
I mean, especially after like watching Rudy and watching like proper football shot in a film, this was not that. It felt like really weird and clumsy the way it's shot and edited, but it's built up to be this like harrowing, really important game to a point where they get a fumble and he's got to go talk to the coach and he's like, listen, asshole, this is the whole fucking reason I brought you here. We need to bring this thing home. So he goes back out there and he decides to run the ball and uses Matt Damon as a human shield and just like pushes him into someone and then jumps over them to win the game.
Yeah, so it's like honestly they do
and
set
they
up
cut to the scoreboard and it's 7-9.
7-9, yeah. But they do set up quite nicely that Matt Damon has just had basically the worst 18 hours of his life. Yeah. Of like his girlfriend is not his girlfriend. Yeah. She likes Matt Damon. Brendan Fraser. Everyone thinks his brother's cooler and more successful. He's been replaced by Brendan Fraser. And then when he's during the game says, hey man, give me the ball. My dad's here. Let me do something. He fucks up. He fumbles, ruins the whole game.
Immediately.
And then so then Brendan Fraser throws him at this other guy, basically just like, here, take that. He scores and then immediately is going to go and like, by the way, I'm going to go bone your girlfriend. Yeah. And it's just like, and then... but that's kind of what I mean.
On the Sabbath?
Yeah, right. What's this? It fell off. Is that it gets to the point of once they find out, the power dynamic shifts.
Mm-hmm. How that scene is shot in the shower is unbelievable.
And to watch all of the boys turn against him. And then it's so, I think it really does sort of like, there you go, is like the deep seated, even though they don't really understand why, sort of like anti-Semitism comes out. And then you've got sort of Anthony Rapp playing, he's great in this. It's like he always played a great asshole in these sort of situations like that. But he's like, no, look, you saw him. He was ingratiating himself with us at the beginning. He was like, they suddenly start throwing out all of these fucking stereotypes that they weren't there in the beginning, but now once they find out, oh, he's Jewish, then they're now adding all this stuff in that wasn't there, and they're like, it's
fucked up.
Yeah, but they play it very fucking well, and I think I think this movie, that's what I think the movie does a very good job of, is showing how literally nothing has changed and everything has changed, and suddenly he's ostracized, and then suddenly they're just they're being absolute assholes. Suddenly you've got a fucking swastika on the wall, and it's like, for me, it's like, did you ever, Ryan, you must have seen
No, I never did that.
Did
Family Guy? Sorry, I didn't go to boarding school, Ollie.
Is
that something you guys would normally do?
The Family Guy reference. Have you ever seen that one where it's like, because I even sent the gif of Brian's outside, like, cowards. So it's actually been passed.
That's what that's from. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
but it's like, the thing about it is like, David is a badass. I mean, like, I was like, you were messing with the wrong guy. You're just
Well, he's a little bit like the Reacher of this school. Like,
Yeah.
it is funny that there are so many like 90-pound, 5'6" guys that are just like, oh, we're gonna go after you, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
The man is literally he's taller than the like.
They look through all of that because he's Jewish. They're just like, nah, I got this. Like, yeah, the Reacher effect is very real.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they were related to that guy that tried to frame Alan Richardson and then got the shit
Oh,
going.
yeah.
God, talk about the stupidest guy in the world. It's like, I'm gonna start a fight with that guy on.
I get that he's plays just a character on that show, but he's still a fucking gigantic human being.
Yeah, he's still 9 foot tall and 500 pounds,
Right.
and he's on a motorcycle, and you're just like, I'm gonna stop this guy. It's just like, come on, bro.
The guy's nickname must have been Slab. Or something like that. You know what I mean? The guy is
it was Thad.
Yeah.
And he's been to Bosnia.
You can't go speeding through our neighborhood, Reacher.
Just put you over here.
But then, like, so then we get the sort of like the extra thing of like again, I still think it's a pretty sort of like well thought out movie of the way that we sort of establish the honor code at the beginning, and then that becomes like the whole sort of point of the end, is that essentially like they have an exam, and like I said, we talked about the pressure that the kids feel like they need to pass, and so Matt Damon essentially just puts together a crib sheet and cheats on his exam terribly, to the point of like there's one bit where he like. We've got a close up of him, and he lifts his hand up, and he looks at it, and he goes, and he looks back one more time. I'm like, bro, if you never like,
and he like didn't I know Brendan Fraser clocks him doing it, but didn't the guy sitting next to him also see him doing it? Okay,
yes, the guy, one of the actual like prefects spots him doing it as well. And then Matt Damon again, terrible at cheating. One, just like not subtle at all, but then two, dropping his crib sheet in the classroom.
The teacher also somehow inept at like seeing he was like the last one out of the class, like seeing was it Cole Hauser like pushes him or something, he drops his books and so
just
like
rough house.
Right. But see him drop the paper.
It's like, come on, teacher. It's one of the two people you just
I was waiting for him to pick up the paper and it just says like 2 + 2 = 4.
I was surprised during that scene, like Matt Damon's character isn't like just whispering out loud the answer, like
I'm mouthing
just looking at it like, okay, so then the answer is B.
Actually, I'm going to do a little quick aside to something that came up on our text thread. Another one of Ryan's genius ideas. I think it was you, Ryan, but it was like that Cole Hauser sounds like the most Jason Statham character name
correct.
Like ever made.
Cole Hauser. On the
I build houses.
Yeah.
He's the Hauser.
I'm Cole Hauser. I'm the dog walker.
Yeah. What did I think I called it? The coal miners something or other?
Cole Hauser's daughter? Yeah.
No, the coal miner's daughter to Damien's Gambit. I was running out of steam by the time I read that
one. And then whoever was posted the link to John Doe.
John Doe, yeah, that's probably me. Yeah.
Which is like they've given up on character names now. We're just like, doesn't matter. Yeah. He's a bald-headed guy who, by the way, happens to be a special forces soldier, and he has to kick people's ass. I'm in. $20 million.
It's like I said, they must have like the Jason Statham Mad Libs guide to making a movie, where it's like character name is a verb. What is its job? Is he a former specialist?
Well,
does a kid die?
Yeah, I just think it's so funny that like Jason Statham and David Ayer, because they're the ones who make all these movies. David Ayer went from writing Training Day to
Suicide Squad,
and the Beekeeper, and it's like, man, that guy has just given up.
But he's not directing Beekeeper 2. It's the Indonesian guy, Timo.
Oh, that's right.
Which I'm excited for, but his version of Nobody 2 was like, it was all right. It's just fine.
Actually, now I think about it, you had David Ayer did Training Day. Then he did End of Watch.
Well, he wrote Training Day, and then yes, he
did.
Then
he did End of Watch, and then he did Bright, which is the Will Smith. And so he did a movie about 2 cops on patrol, 2 cops on patrol, and then 2 cops on patrol.
Yeah.
What was Taylor Sheridan not available?
Yeah, for real. I'll say though, Bright, I don't want to sing any praises of the screenwriter because he's a terrible person, but I read Bright early on, like
Mm.
before it was in production. Absolutely none of the dialogue from the script is in the movie.
Oh.
And also, the script is way better than what the film was. So I understand reading the script why somebody wanted to make Bright. I'm like, oh, yes, this absolutely. And then I saw the movie and I'm like, oh, yeah, David Ayer was like, yeah, what if all this sucked? I bet that would be great.
I did think Joel Edgerton was good in that movie.
He's great, yeah.
And honestly, I would have watched the sequel only to see what happened. But at the same time, I thought interesting premise, but poor execution.
Oh yeah. And if you
That's
ever read the
the-
script, you're like, oh, I would have watched a whole trilogy.
The premise,
Will Smith? No?
yeah, Will Smith.
Yeah.
The premise was Training Day, but what if also Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. Just in a fantasy setting. And there's way less like the world is not in danger in the script. It's very
Sounds like
it's very much like an to watch.
It sounds like Alien Nation. It's like an alien part.
It's
of
much
the
closer
cop.
to that. Yeah.
Which
Much closer
is
to that.
Cool.
I remember seeing that movie years ago. Oh yes, we're talking about school ties. That's what we were doing.
Oh yeah.
Howser.
Anti-Semitism bad. Yeah.
So then it kind of like gets down to that kind of like that end scene of it's almost like 12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
In a way, just trying to decide. And it's like, well, Matt Damon's not Jewish, so
that whole scene where they're all together and you think Matt Damon is gonna like confess to this, and he's like, "Gee willikers, guys, it brings me no joy to say this, but it was him."
the Jewish guy did it.
What? And even like the acting in that scene felt bad to me. Like compared to the entire movie, that felt like even Brendan Fraser getting up and going, "But that wasn't me." Like I don't know. I was just so like burnt out by that. Like I just by the end of this movie, just watching all three of these movies, I think it seems like in the same day, I was just exhausted.
They were very much channeling the Winklevi of we are gentlemen of Harvard.
Right.
We do things properly. And then it all, it all just ends up getting a little bow tied in it, and it does have one of my favorite last lines from any movie ever. Though it's like, where like Matt Damon's like, I'm going to go to Harvard and everything's going to be great. And I think Ryan is frozen or completely
No,
locked.
I'm sorry.
That was incredible.
That was
Ryan!
No, I hear you.
Oh my god.
I was reading a text message.
Audio listeners, go watch the YouTube. You can see both Ollie and I be like,
I was going
looking
back
for
to our
signs
group
of
text
life.
to see if I had said anything else funny.
That was wild, Ryan. That is the best no movement I've ever seen anyone
I was
ever
miles
do.
away.
Honestly, in my entire life.
It's actually a trick I use in my actual Zoom calls.
Actually, I was just reading an article about this guy that got busted after like years, 16 months or something like that as a remote worker, that whenever he logged into a Zoom call, he was just playing a looped video of him just nodding.
Oh,
And
shit.
And it took them a
we
year
might need
and
to
a
cut this. This is for some of us who work remotely.
He's like, what if I took that one thing he did in Speed?
Yeah.
Which is just school ties on a bus.
Arizona.
Which is just toy soldiers on a bus.
There you go.
Okay, that makes sense.
But this movie.
I was like, what anti-Semitism is there in Speed?
So yeah, the last line of the movie is like, where Matt Damon's like, I'm going to go to Harvard and you'll still be a Jew. And the guy goes, yeah, you'll still be a prick.
And then Matt Damon becomes a janitor at Harvard.
Yeah. That's how he gets in. Yeah.
Right. You're pretty good, Will Hunting.
So now I'm interested because like I saw this movie again around the same time. I saw this one in boarding school as well. And so Dead Poet Society. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like we got the all of the boarding school movies were watched at boarding school.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, so for you, like Ryan, was this just why was it meh?
I mean,
like, I find
for the time, because at the time, like I just at that age, because you said this was 92.
Yeah.
At that age, just wasn't watching like prestige like Oscar type movies. I was just more into more action comedy stuff. So this just didn't seem like a movie I would go out of my way to see, and it just kind of eluded me until I got much older. I'm like, it's one of those things like. In the zeitgeist, I get it without ever having seen it, even though I could have been more wrong. Like, I was always mixing the title of this movie up with Honors, because that with Honors was on all the time on cable.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was just the fucking Joe Pesci block. It was that and My Cousin Vinny. You
Hmm.
know, so like
Banger.
I'd seen that movie so many times, and I think in my mind associated them too. I don't know.
So like, Will, I mean, because like for me, this movie, I'm like, yeah, you know, like it's a movie, and I think it's well made. It's
Hmm.
competently made. It's got good people in it. I think it asks some interesting questions. It's not surprising, like
No.
you know, it doesn't take, you know, like in the way that Toy Soldiers takes many left turns or unpredictable. Oh, I didn't see that coming. In this case, it's like, okay, let's get to the next bit. Here we go. You know, a little
Hmm.
bit like Sense of a Woman. In a way, you know, like just which of course Chris O'Donnell goes
I
on
was
to
gonna say just any other Chris O'Donnell movie that's not a Batman one.
right.
Yeah, it's I kind of walked away with like, it's fine. I'm probably not gonna really
I'm not
watch
gonna
it.
watch this again.
Yeah, it's got good performances for the most part. I do feel like once we get towards the end, this movie is definitely a little too long, given
Yeah,
like,
I think it's half an hour too long. I think it should have been like an
yeah,
hour and 40 max.
It did drag a little bit.
yeah.
Just
So
pacing wise, yeah.
yeah, so it's okay. It's good. It's fun to see a lot of these actors like really young, like in
Yeah.
the beginning of their career. And clearly some casting director thought Chris O'Donnell would be a bigger star than Ben Affleck. So that's
For
funny
a
to
while
see.
he was booking, Chris O'Donnell
Yeah.
was
Oh
booking
yeah.
everything
I
back
Yeah.
then.
didn't
Because he
realize he
went on
had
to do
such
Son of
like
Woman and he got Batman and he was
yeah.
playing Robin and he's just like he's everywhere.
I thought
Yeah.
he'd have a more significant role in this movie, other than roommate. You know,
Yeah.
like I know him and Brendan Fraser have scenes together, but it just there's a lot of characters in this movie, maybe too many.
And
Yeah.
it's also interesting how many like, you know, combos went on because you had Cole Hauser, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon go
Right, Dazed and Confused.
Good Will Hunting.
Oh, right.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and then you've got yes, Cole Hauser and Ben Affleck, Dazed and Confused, and then you've got like apparently Ben Affleck, Matt Damon were up for the role of like in The Mummy that Brendan Fraser got, and it's just like you know, and honestly, when they were making this movie, the guys like the producer or director, I can't remember which, was basically saying, guys, look, like you guys are going to be like the next like Brat Pack, and honestly, not wrong. I mean, a bunch
Yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
three of them have won Oscars, you know, like
Yeah.
since then, so. It's like they all did pretty well after. So, like I said, it's a pretty strong cast. It's an unsurprising movie. Like I said, I think that what it does deal with is it just shows how stupid racism is, anti-Semitism is. Of
Hmm.
just like, oh, we flipped a switch now. Oh, he's got horns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
I do group it into that like dead. It's funny you mentioned Dead Poet Society because the films kind of fit into that same
Yeah.
bubble or
It's like a
bucket, you know?
cousin. It's like a
Yeah.
cousin to that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think the kind of like the last thing I'll say about it is the anti-Semitism. I don't know if it's like because it's the early 90s trying to set it in the 50s, but it also some of it, it's all really horrible, but some of it is also really cheesy and confusing and kind of
Yeah.
lost on
It
me.
felt tacked on. Like,
Yeah, like especially at the beginning with the bikers where they're like, "Aren't you mad that they killed Jesus?" And I'm like,
Yes.
"What?" Like,
that's what I'm saying with the writing felt like
yeah.
they just picked every like
That is a Mel
schoolyard.
Gibson quote, though.
well, well, wait a minute, baby. Because I thought it was because it was just it just played as really awkward to me and really like if I was in that situation and someone said that, I'd be like, are you stupid? Like, what do you
Yeah.
like? What do you mean?
Yeah.
All of them? Like,
Now
listen,
imagine
I
if-
read the book. It was one
now-
guy. So I don't,
Imagine if Brendan Fraser was a black guy.
oh,
And the
whoa.
reveal in the shower where they're like, "Wait a minute, you're a black guy?"
I thought you should have done it like Matt Damon.
I was
like
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew
I thought you were,
McConaughey, and it's
I
like
thought you were doing it like
now imagine
time
he
kill.
was black. You know,
Oh.
everyone's sweating. We should watch A Time to Kill again. That movie was dope. School Ties. Like I said, it got a lot of the boarding school right. You know, like so the chapel stuff was very accurate. The pranking, breaking out was pretty accurate. The fights was pretty accurate. The fact that there's just so many white people, very accurate. I mean, halfway through one of the movies, when I sent you guys that video, like I'd found it on YouTube, which was
Oh my God! Yeah, your school,
video
right?
that was shot when we were there. So that was 97. So I was 16 and I was spotting people like, oh, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy. So it was like a little time capsule of my school. But you see how
It's crazy.
it looked like,
Yeah,
Both of
minus the
those
computers and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
but it's like,
But
the
it's
red brick
unbelievable.
buildings and stuff like that.
Everything.
Like
It's like when
bonkers,
you
right?
in your mind picture boarding school. Like that video is, I know it's the school, but that's like what I mean, everything I think about boarding school is ripped directly from Toy Soldiers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how much your school looks exactly like that.
It's bonkers. I mean, like I'm like my. Let me look at it real quickly. Hang on.
And no Jews. That's on the crest, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
It's their slogan. Yeah.
Actually, ours was ex cultu robo, which meant from culture strength. And
Also dot dot dot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So ours
Yes.
was a religious school. It was a like Church of England school. Like, and then my prep school was a Catholic school. So we had like a priest as our like Father Freed was our headmaster and stuff like that. And so we had all this kind of stuff.
We don't need to hear how you lost your virginity. It's fine.
I'm your headmaster. I doubt you're that good.
But like to give you an idea, like for my school, it was established in 1865. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
that's the school.
So
like,
Jews weren't invented yet.
oh my god. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
reading your text messages.
Oh my god. Ryan is trying so hard to get me cancelled. This is insane. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
trying so hard to not get me canceled.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Okay, but you know, I would say, yeah, watch it if you want to see, like you said, young actors that you know quite well.
It's not a bad movie at all.
Right.
You gotta be, it's one of those you need to be in the mood for, and I
Yeah.
don't know what that mood is.
Yeah, prestige.
Like there's,
but
I mean,
like
you watch Dead Poet Society, if anything.
100%. No, just watch Toy Soldiers
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch Toy Soldiers, and then watch Small Soldiers, and then watch the Kurt Russell movie Soldier.
Yeah.
And then watch the
Perfect.
Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Soldier of Fortune.
Yes.
Or Universal Soldier, excuse me.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, keep going.
I'm running out of Albert Pune movies.
But there was one other movie that we did this week is
yeah.
that all of my a lot of my friends saw at boarding school, and I never did. And it was kind of like I remember hearing about.
This was your first watch.
This was my first
wow.
watch. Yes. Is Wes Anderson's so we did Bottle Rocket when we were doing Texas, which was the first Wes Anderson movie, and it had the Wilson brothers and stuff like that in it. And this was the follow-up, which I didn't realize until the end that was written by Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson. And then it's got his two brothers in the movie, but it's the movie
I didn't know there was a third Wilson brother. That was the first time.
He was in Bottle Rocket as well.
Yeah.
We
He was
did-
also
he's
also in Idiocracy as the guy who drives the fucking drill dozer.
Yeah. And he's in Royal Tenenbaums too. He's
Right.
like the farmer or something.
What
that
is
cuts
so
off.
funny about him as a brother is that he looks like you took Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson, jammed them together, and he even has Owen
It was the
Wilson's
voice. It was the voice. that did
Yes.
it.
How you know he's a Wilson, you know,
Yeah,
just
for
straight
sure.
away.
I'm like,
oh,
wait a
wow,
minute.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. But this is the movie. This is the movie that introduced the world to Jason Schwartzman, and I get it now. Because I like whenever I'd seen Jason Schwartzman in movies, I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. But everyone's like, yeah, man, he came from Rushmore, and I'm like, all right. And so he is 17 when he did this movie,
It's crazy.
and to be 17 and to have that level of confidence around like Bill Murray and things like that is an absolute banger. So like, I think of all the movies that we've done this week, this is the one that actually gets qualified as a success because its budget was 9-10 million. It made like nearly $20 million. And it's got this kind of like this great reputation as well. Like, you know, that just people are like, oh yeah, Rushmore. And it's interesting kind of like, Ryan, because you sort of like, because this is where, because Bottle Rocket didn't really have it. Bottle Rocket was just kind of weird.
No.
And
we
this-
did Life Aquatic too, but like
Yes.
this was in that sweet spot where he's still kind of finding his unique visual
vibe.
style, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate I like that this era of his filmmaking probably the most, where it still feels raw and like a movie, whereas everything now just is so blatantly obviously a Wes Anderson picture,
Yeah.
almost to a fault, where it's
Yes. The 90-degree turns and just
like
the camera moves.
the cameras, the actors, like everything about it just feels like, okay, that he's like honed his style, he's perfected it, and that's just the aesthetic from now on. Whereas Rushmore still has this kind of like scrappy feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, honestly, this is technically a Texas movie because I didn't realize, but Rushmore is actually supposed to be in Houston. But essentially, it's like it's the way they described it is the Owen Wilson and stuff like that is that they were saying that they kind of tried to make it a little bit Roald Dahlian, like so Roald Dahl,
Definitely.
like he's got this. It's just it's
The whim-
half a
the-
step off.
The whimsy.
Yes, whimsy,
Yeah.
exactly. That it's like, and it's so much like controlled by Jason Schwartzman's just presence
Yeah.
and character. So like, what's it? Yeah, Max Fisher, and I think it was Ryan. You texted it, and you were 100% right because I did the same note. Is he's like a male Tracy Flick?
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did Election the other day. This movie is so election
It's very election code.
adjacent. There's so much to it that's actually kind of similar, but like instead of like, in this case that he's kind of fallen in love with his teacher, and then, like it's him trying to impress her, but then like it gets to this point of like there's two moments in the movie and it's where I was just like, this movie's brilliant, and both of them was when he's putting on his plays.
Oh yeah.
Just
sure.
like when he does, was it they're doing
Is it Serpico?
Serpico.
An Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
or just like a Vietnam,
Yeah. I don't think-
adjacent movie, but like the production value on it.
The
high
fucking
school
train-
Serpico is
It's
so
crazy. The train in
So
the background. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that's what I'm saying. Like this still has that like this has hints of this dreamlike feeling of his movies. That really you get once you start getting into Life Aquatic, where it feels almost like a cartoon.
funny.
This has like little glimpses of that, and then I
Yeah.
just love that.
I mean, like silly little things like, he got his scholarship because he wrote a one-act play about Watergate in second grade.
Yeah. But even like the opening of him solving the fucking math problem with like the handwriting and just the
Right.
stylistic choices, and it's a dream, and it's like
Oh,
it's
that's
so
so
fucking funny.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I mean, interesting enough, what is the book that he's reading at the very beginning of the movie is the Jacques Cousteau book, which is basically the inspiration for Steve Zissou. And then I was like, oh man, there's all these kind of like things that it's
Do all his
interesting to
movies
go
like
back.
is there like a known connected universe, and or it's just like
Not really. I think it's just
No.
like it seemed to be coinky
Yeah,
dinky.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's just something that had been on his mind.
So he has no Cornetto trilogy, is what we're saying.
No.
I mean, in this case, so instead of it like it plays it also has kind of echoes of School Ties, but in this case, it's just like he's the more sort of like the poor kid that was going to the boarding school. And honestly, I kind of identified with that because I basically
There
we were
we
like,
go.
we were the poorest kids at the rich school. Like, so Cranley was like the nouveau riche. So like we used to go and play Eton, which is like where Prince William would play rugby. Like he would come and play rugby in our school. And we'd go to Eton and all the Etonians would be like, Cranley, like we were like plebs. And it's like, our school costs more. So fuck you. But it's like my older brother got a scholarship. So he was like top scholar to the school. He was kind of like Max Fisher in a way. And that enabled, I think, like for us to be able to afford to send all of us to school. But it was like, it was so weird to be at like a thing called like speech day, which is kind of like your homecoming in a way. And everybody comes back and you've got all the OCs, the old Cranleans playing cricket and tennis against the real teams. And, my dad had this like, very reminiscent of Steve, my pickup truck, but this old Ford Sierra with 400,000 miles on it. And then you're sitting next to these Bentleys and like Mercedes. And then like one of the guys,
yeah.
what's his name? Gordon Murray. Chris Murray was his kid, went to the school. Gordon Murray designed the McLaren
Oh
F1.
yeah.
So this McLaren F1 turns up to the, and you're just sitting there like, oh,
Jesus Christ.
you'd go,
I have a poster of that on my wall.
it's like, I remember going to my buddy's house and he's like, oh yeah, come up to my house in Kingston. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And you're expecting I don't know, like, think like a New York brownstone maybe, or just like this thing. And I'm following the paper
It's a
map.
fucking castle.
Hey, yes, it's a fucking like immense mansion. I mean, absolutely immense. Like the grounds have like a practice golf hole on it. And we all used to hang out and party in the fun guest house, which was basically the same size as my house. And I was just like, who are these people I go to school with? I think one of my favorite ones. Oh, okay, this is great, but this
He
is
had the cruelest intentions of all.
this is, I think this is true like Cranley lore. But there was this guy, very famous, like essentially sort of like criminal. He stole like $4 billion from the British government. His name was Azal Nadir, and his illegitimate sons, or his sons, went to our school. And this is crazy, but one of them was in the same year, same house, and honestly, like they were sort of friends. and his friend's dad was one of the Interpol guys whose job it was to arrest his dad. They went, I know. We could make movies about the school
Do
I
you
went
want toy
to.
soldiers? Because that's how you get toy soldiers.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely, absolutely bonkers. But again, like
I'm just thinking about the fact that we could have picked the movie Cruel Intentions, because that's also
yeah.
set in like a boarding school.
Well, we'll just do it again. Next episode. This one though, like this movie's got like so Bill Murray is great.
He's
So
fantastic.
unbelievably good.
He's just
Elevates
Bill
this to
Murray
like,
everywhere.
and yet so like understated and just
Yeah.
like not. I mean, he usually is, but just his energy in this movie is so weirdly relatable to me now as an adult. Like, whereas you watch this back then, you kind of relate to Max, but in this one, I'm like, I'm the Bill Murray in this movie.
And we've got Brian Cox
Brian
as
Cox,
well.
yeah.
So we've got this absolutely amazing. And then
and Max's young kid friend plays Dennis in the Dennis the Menace movie.
that's why I knew that kid's
That's the
face.
only thing I'm like, I had to look it up. I'm like, oh my God, the Christopher Lloyd Dennis the Menace movie.
Well,
Crazy.
interesting enough, in the UK that was called Dennis because we had our own Dennis
yeah,
the
right.
Menace.
But so was so was the comic strip too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there was the American blonde kid was just called
What did you
Dennis.
guys call Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because ninjas were deemed to be too violent. And so weirdly enough, so they re-recorded the opening song. Look it up online. It's great.
No.
But anytime they say the word ninja in the show, it's cut out. And it's so funny when I was rewatching because I never noticed it as a kid.
They replaced it with Mr. Falcon.
It would
That's a
just
deep
go,
cut. That's
it
a
would
deep
just-
cut.
That's a very
just
deep
go-
cut.
it would just go the Teenage Mutant Turtles. Like they would just cut ninja out all the time. It was
They
crazy.
wouldn't add hero.
No, because they only re-recorded the song. They couldn't re-record the dialogue, so they just cut the
Oh.
word ninja out every time. So when the movie came out, we're like, ooh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This movie's good.
And instead of pizza, they just eat beans on toast.
Yeah, true. Yeah, just drink tea. Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
Little B and T. I love it.
So then the teacher that he falls in love with is Olivia Williams, who I'm like, she was in Postman, Rushmore, Sixth Sense.
Oh, that's right. She was
Yeah.
his wife, right?
Yeah, and then she's like in Hannah, stuff like that. So yeah, interesting enough, she had a pretty good run, and and again, she's great in this movie.
She's very good in this.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me, it's every single moment, line, look, action, and everything that Jason Schwartzman does is just like, wow. It's just wow. The whole time I'm watching, God damn, this 17-year-old kid just turning up and crushing.
It's for this to be the follow-up to Bottle Rocket. Like again, like you see the growth of him as a filmmaker with each one of his movies, which I appreciate until you get to a certain point where they all kind of feel a little samey. But like the scene where he's going through all of the clubs that he's in, like the way that
Yes.
shot like works so well in this. They're like he goes through all these clubs and yet he's failing miserably.
Yeah.
And the way, like,
And Brian Cox working with that fucking dog, amazing.
the
Yes.
way Jason Schwartzman's character, like, you believe that he's probably going to be president one day. He's just sees everything. The way he can control people, not even control people, that bring them on board with his shenanigans and the confidence that like he has, like the way he's smoking, the way the confidence he has to just come on to this teacher.
And he's hitting on his friend's mother, right? In the beginning,
Yeah.
who's in what's her name from Gladiator?
Oh, Connie Nielsen.
Yeah, Connie Nielsen. Who's
Oh,
in that
yeah.
one scene. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Oh, great.
But
I like this movie a lot, but at the same time, like I think Will just said it's not my favorite Wes Anderson movie, but it is
No.
like such a pivotal movie in his career.
Well, I think exactly what you're saying, Ryan, is the jump from Bottle Rocket to this is so huge. And this is such a great, like, wow, what a good movie. For me, it's the Grand Budapest Hotel. Is the one of all the ones I've seen of his that I'm like,
What did he do after this? It was a Tenenbaums?
Royal Tenenbaums was the one that really got people's attention.
Yeah, I think that was the one after this.
So it was Rushmore, Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic, And
Let me see.
then
I'll bring it up. I want to make sure we get this
I am curious
right.
to like trying to pinpoint the timeline because I have those last few ones that I started to watch and I just found myself kind of drift like they're so pretty to look at, but I
Hmm.
just felt myself kind of drifting off into this world of sameness.
Yeah,
Because like,
okay. All right. So let's get on. Yeah, here we go. So Bottle Rocket 96, Rushmore 98. Then he gets Royal Tenenbaums 2001 gets the Academy Award nomination for best screenplay.
mm,
Sort of Life Aquatic, which we did 2004, Darjeeling Limited 2007,
That was a nice one.
which people I've heard are just kind of like
I
yeah
haven't, yeah,
It's okay.
on that
Yeah.
one. Fantastic Mr. Fox 2009. I did see
incredible.
that one. That
Yep,
was kind of
It's great.
fun. Moonrise Kingdom. I've seen that one.
yeah,
That
I
was
like
quite
that one. That's
enjoyable.
yeah, I
That
like
one's
that one
really
too.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then yeah, that was 2012, and then we follow up in 2014 with Grand Budapest, and that's when he gets back and he did Isle of Dogs, and then recently
okay.
because he's done French Dispatch, Asteroid
and
City,
Asteroid City.
Phoenician Scheme, um, and it's like, and he did the wonderful story of Henry Sugar, that short with Benedict
Oh,
Cumberbatch.
who?
Yeah, French Dispatch is that's probably my least favorite of his. It's funny, but also the entire movie I'm just kind of like, I don't, what am I doing here? Like,
I
why are
think
we watching this?
when we talked about Life Aquatic, that the one obviously that one or sequence where they're storming the beach was so
Hmm.
fucking incredible. I think the idea of him like doing a straight up action movie and maybe like was the Phoenician Scheme is his like one battle like that maybe that's like that's his type of movie
Maybe
Because
that's the only
Benicio del
one of his I
Toro's
haven't seen yet.
yeah I
just had a
remember
few
seeing the
small
trailer it's
beers.
just like I'm like what if we I mean because he utilizes the same cast it just kind of all blurs together
Yeah,
to
you
me.
know what? I think that's why I haven't really gone to French Dispatch, Asteroid City, Phoenician Scheme.
Yeah.
Is like,
And
we're
for some, like that's your jam, I get it. But
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. It's just not, there's not enough differentiation either visually or from the cast or
yeah.
even from a story standpoint that
Well,
it's
he,
like
I think that's the thing because Steve
Mhm.
Zissou's so great. Because remember the other thing that we loved was like
the production.
the shot of
Mhm.
like the cutout of the boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic, brilliant. And then like for me, like when we got to Grand Budapest, there's certain just they're using all of his quirks to me to perfection.
Yeah.
It's just done with the colors and the way and
Mhm.
all the stuff it's done. But then yeah, I think he's leaned too hard into it. Like
Right.
there's a signature man, but it's like it's kind of like the way like there's a guy that made my custom cowboy hat here, right? Jimmy Pierce, wonderful guy, and he's made a hat for Mrs. Made a hat for my dad. The guy can make any hat, but he talks about yeah, there's other master hatters who can make a hat.
Mhm.
It's their hat.
Mhm.
And like, and it's kind of like with Wes Anderson, it's like, oh, do I want to put that hat on again?
Right.
Whereas you got someone like Ron Howard, who is like a
Mhm.
total journeyman director, who's like, oh, I can make a Formula One movie, I can make a whale movie, I can make a solo movie, I can like this,
Right.
he can make any movie.
Yeah. Versatile director for sure.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
just think like I think that Wes
There,
Anderson's problem is he almost can't get out of his own way.
there's a reason there's like an accidental Wes Anderson subreddit or an accidental Wes Anderson coffee table book at Barnes and Noble. Like it's such a distinct aesthetic that now you see like we were talking we joked when we were doing Napoleon Dynamite we said who directed
Mhm.
this Les Anderson
Right.
it's a very specific aesthetic and like
Yeah.
oh you're just doing I think even Patrick Willems did like a video essay shout out Patrick Willems Enemy of the podcast but he did a whole thing where people
Yeah.
are using AI to generate like a Wes Anderson
Yeah.
aesthetic and it's
Mhm.
like no you're missing the whole point of this
Yeah.
just like you
I,
can't
I
just frame a camera like that and call it that.
Yeah, I'll push back a little bit in that. I think Asteroid City, it's not obvious at first, but the deeper you go into that movie, especially once you start heading to the third act, he really does start breaking his style
Mm,
and really does like all of a sudden he's doing shots and he's doing types of scenes that he's never done before.
okay.
And he's acknowledging the artifice of it and also seems like he's having a midlife crisis about it.
Mm,
While it's a very odd movie, like once you get to that third act. But the first hour of it
it's
is the
very well
Wes
done.
Anderson that everybody pictures.
I think that's why I got like I kind of burnt out on it halfway through.
Yeah.
I just
Now again, I haven't seen the Phoenician Scheme, so I can't speak to that. But
the
yeah,
trailer looked good. It made me giggle, but at the same time, like I feel like I've seen this movie before.
yeah, and French Dispatch, I think, uh, came out at a time where that felt really like a little too self-indulgent.
Wasn't
Like
it
I said, a lot of
COVID-y?
gags, but not the greatest movie.
Because that was 2000, that wasn't that 2021. It kind of came out during COVID as well. I think everyone was just like,
Yeah.
we need some sort of like something else.
Yeah.
Give us something else, buddy. I got so many notes in this one, but it's all just pretty much like just character moments. I mean, like I love Margaret Yang. She's a great character as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the little
What happened
things.
to that actor? Like she like disappeared. Like I think she did like 2 or 3 more movies and has not been in anything since.
So you're
She
right,
did a bunch of
actually. Sarah
comedies.
Tanaka. She did, Rush. She had 96, Race to the Sun, Rushmore 98, Slackers 2002, Old School 2003. Okay.
That's what I remember her from. Yeah.
Okay, Imagining Heroes in 2004, and then that's it. She also is a pedestrian in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Of course.
But here you go. She graduated from Brown University, human biology. She did an MD degree, became a doctor. Internal medicine. Yeah, she's a doctor. She did a cardiology fellowship program. So she's a very good doctor. It turns
Oh,
out.
well,
Good for
she wanted
you.
a career that would actually pay and
Yeah.
to be a living. Okay,
Yeah,
weird.
you can be an
but all
actor for a
right.
little bit, but then you're going to be a doctor. All right, Mom, I'm going to go do it. But there's character moments throughout this that are just so silly and funny, like the way Bill Murray just for no reason blocks that basketball, like with the kids.
That might be my favorite part of the movie.
It's so funny.
He's sitting at the pool, his kid's birthday, his shitty fucking kids just throwing golf balls into like the pool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And just cannonballs into that, which looked super cold.
it did. Like,
yeah.
it cold as hell. Interesting thing is that apparently, so they've got the twins. Bill Murray genuinely found those kids annoying. And so many of the scenes where he's lashing out at them and insulting them are just improvised. Like the bit where he reaches out the back to like fight them in the
Oh
car.
my god. I'm legitimately
Yeah.
shocked he got along with Jason Schwartzman.
Well,
Yeah.
apparently at first Bill Murray didn't quite like him, but Jason Schwartzman won him over.
Yeah.
But again, I can
He ran him
believe that.
over?
Yeah, he ran him over. That's why he cut the brake lines.
That whole bit of them pranking each other is great. I love that.
Yeah.
So good. Oh my god, so good.
Some of the best Bill Murray smoking cigarettes on camera maybe ever.
Yeah, for sure.
But also like the way, like I think it was when Jason Schwartzman's just smoking in the back seat. I mean, like I said, I was just saying so often as like I see why this guy blew up. I see why Edgar Wright put him in Scott Pilgrim. And why he's just so good. He's so smarmy in it as well. Like he's got such a weird, interesting face. And then like there's little like moments like when Bill Murray the bit where he's got like the Coke can in his pocket and he pulls out the whiskey and he pours it into the Coke can. And he's just kind of storing it in the thing behind it. I feel like there was so much. That's what I like about Bill Murray. And when he's riffing, he riffs in funny, unexpected, subtle ways. So different from the Anchorman riffing that you kind of get where everyone's trying to have their line. Sometimes Bill Murray just does something weird in the scene to see like how people are going to react, and it works so well in like a movie like Rushmore. Like I said, it's like he's always fucking with everybody. I think with Bill Murray's like that's the way he's set. It's like let's just
at this time period of Bill Murray too is like this and Lost in Translation where it's just understated like. Elder statesman Bill Murray, he's so good
with a tinge of sadness behind everything he's doing.
Sure. Yeah,
like, but no, I he's fantastic in this. Brian Cox, I think Olivia Williams, like she's doing so much, and so much of the movie rests on her, and I think she just kills it in this film. You feel so bad for her that this weirdo kid just won't stop pursuing her, and she's so nice about it, and she's so good about trying to establish those boundaries. And you can tell she's just honestly trying to not destroy this kid mentally for most of the movie, but also be like, hey, I'm way too old for you. This is not happening.
Yeah.
but there's still glimmers of like maybe.
I didn't get that from her at all.
It's not the maybe. What I think is what she's saying is like you see that she goes, no, you're a compelling, interesting, charming, fascinating young man. And it's like it's kind of like
you're 15,
but you're 15, so I don't want to go to prison. And I'm like, I'm not like it's like, but were you 35? Maybe. But it's like you've got to appreciate, like I said, the balls of him, like the bit where like he's so weird and problematic and intelligent, and like the bit where he stages like I just been hit by a car, and she lets him through the window and he's bleeding. And he immediately gets on the bed and puts a tape in and presses play and sort of sets
Yeah.
the scene.
God,
And it's just like and he goes, and when she realizes, is this jam or ketchup or whatever? He goes, I guess I'll leave and, go back out the window kind of thing. He's just like, he's kind of like he's like a gifted kid / sociopath.
Yeah, he's like a Patrick Bateman with none of the charm.
Right.
He's like an average podcaster.
Well, hang on.
Wait.
I mean,
oh no, self-realization kicked in.
I like the introduction of of Luke Wilson's character into this, like when they go to dinner together and just like it's
God, they're so great.
The fragile alliance.
drink.
The fragile alliance that Bill Murray and his character have are so good in this.
Yeah.
There's a lot to love about this movie, and I love it more as these small interactions and vignettes than I do as like the movie as a whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's drunk and Jason Schwartzman just looking at Luke Wilson and he goes, he says, yeah, I like your nurse's outfit, guy. He never learns his name.
It's the most famous. He's like, these are OR scrubs. Oh, are they? The most iconic line from this fucking movie.
Yeah.
That and having some carrots. It's just like, this. So I would say, like, for me, I was charmed by this movie throughout. It was really like, for me, it was the establishment, not just of Schwartzman, but like you're saying, Ryan, you start seeing Wes Anderson sort of finding a visual language that other people don't have. You've got Bill Murray being great, as always, that like, it's just fun. It's just fun to watch. And it's like, when he's writing another play and then he invites everybody and he kind of sits people and you've got Yang's parents and
gives them the headphones.
and safety glasses.
It's fucking nuts.
Oh, mate. And then can we please, like, for me, I'm like, was that a direct Heat reference? Looked into it. Yes, it was. When he goes to buy the dynamite. He goes to buy dynamite and then he pulls out an ID and he goes, Arizona ID, and he says it, charge it to this den. It is word for word, beat for beat, the moment at the beginning of Heat when Val Kilmer goes to buy the dynamite. And I'm like, what? Did we just do a Heat reference? And I'm like, yes, I looked it up.
Finally.
I know. No.
That's awesome.
Oh, wait, and I talk about Crime 101 being a Heat reference, and you're like, now you don't like it. Watch Crime 101, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good movie.
I kind of want to see Max Fisher's take on Heat.
Oh, shit.
His stage play version.
Just the diner scene alone. My God.
Well, fine. I was texting Carrie earlier about it, and she liked it, and she's a friend of the show, so fuck you, Ryan.
Did you mention we were doing a boarding school episode? And she went, finally.
But yeah, this for me, this movie is great. I think I'm really happy, that it is good. I'd heard it was good. There was a little bit of like, are we going to have a little bit too much of just Wes Anderson being weird or just no. I think it's all. I think it's just right. It's whimsical again, like you were saying.
Early enough in for a sophomore film to see I love that you can see we talk about like the genesis of like what he would become, whether that's good or bad. But I love going back to this and seeing like, oh, okay, I can see him finding his footing in filmmaking, and it's great.
Yeah, for me, it's the one he made right before, because Royal Tenenbaums is my favorite movie of his, and I'm like, you can see that evolution where I'm like, he's almost there, and then when he gets to Royal Tenenbaums, for me, I'm like, that's the sweet spot. That's where I like him to be in.
I've never actually seen that one.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I haven't either, actually.
Because it's interesting, because it came out, and I remember so many people around me going, that movie's shit. As in, I think it's just people just not getting it. They're like, this is weird. It's a movie, but it's weird.
What year was that?
I want to say 2001.
2001? Yeah.
I would guess. I'm going to go and look again.
I was hoping it was 1999.
2001.
You're famously without any movies.
Yeah. It's a little bit of the Big Lebowski effect, I think, where the first time you see it, you're like, what? But for me, the 22nd time I've seen it, I'm like, this is the greatest movie ever made.
Okay, I may have to check this one out. And then for me, the Vietnam play is incredible, where they get the Scottish guy, and you've got the helicopter, the explosions and stuff.
Who is paying for this?
It's so funny.
What's the budget on this play?
But honestly, it was what's funny about that is life imitating art, to the point of that. that high school that went viral for putting on Aliens or Alien.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
And they
yeah.
did Alien as a stage play to the point that Ridley Scott even sent money for them to do an encore presentation, and Sigourney Weaver attended it.
Oh
And it's,
shit.
yeah, that's what I'm just like. That is
That's
as
unbelievable.
silly and ridiculous as it seems. Not 15 years later, someone actually does it to the level.
What boarding school was that?
Cranley. There were terrorists involved as well. But like, yeah, this one was like,
Jesus.
of the three movies that we did, like,
This is up to you. You have to tell us, since I'm guessing you went to boarding school, right?
yeah, I don't know if you mentioned this. Well, I was going to say that, like, as far as for our movie fans, like, which movies should we watch this week, that you haven't seen? It's easy to say it's Toy Soldiers, and it's easy to say that it's Rushmore. And then like School Ties is just like, if you got a Sunday, you're bored, watch it. It's raining, nothing else is on. Like it's not a bad movie. Yeah. It's just not as good as Rushmore or Toy Soldiers.
It doesn't even have the best naked shower fight scenes. So
right.
Exactly. That's Eastern Promises. Greatest movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually showed dong in that one, so factor that into your decision.
That's how I factor every movie choice.
Yeah. Viggo Mortensen hang dong and fight people in this movie. No pass.
Gone Girl, it's like, here, you gotta dong it up, man. That's why HBO is doing so well. For me, I mean, like, for the boarding school of it all, funny enough, like Rushmore, it's because it's a little bit elevated and a little bit heightened and a little bit weird, that it doesn't quite sort of like hit the sweet spot
compared to Toy Soldiers,
compared to School Ties and Toy Soldiers. But weirdly enough, is that for me, you want to say the movie that is most like my boarding school experience, most familiar to me, in every single way on the stuff
School
that's going.
Ties.
Nah, man, you're right.
We get it.
But it's found who made the sign.
I'm gonna walk back into my room and just there's a sign. I'm
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, I bang my camera and suddenly just like Nazi flag is. Sorry, but
I didn't want to say I knew it,
but honestly, it's Toy Soldiers. Toy Soldiers, it looks like my school. Take the terrorist out of it.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's my school. Honestly, like, it's a little bit like I said. I joked about Harry Potter, like we were talking about, but that's like, I watch Harry Potter. I go, this looks like my school. It's crazy how much Harry Potter looks like my school as well. But Toy Soldiers for the vibe, for the the fact that it's like kids from, it was like their nouveau riche kids, and then we had kind of like, like I said, it wasn't like lords and ladies children. It was like, oh, it's kids whose dad's this new CEO of this company, or
he owns the biggest construction company, right?
I mean, like
whatever.
my buddy, the guy whose house I went to, the big one, like he at the time was CEO of Smith and Wesson. You know what I mean? It's like, it's stuff like that. So like the guy that made the McLaren F1 and all this kind of stuff, they all went to my school. And it's like, so I think that like Toy Soldiers for me, that's why I think we enjoyed watching it so much as British kids as well.
It's kind of like the underdog of the three too.
Yeah. Totally. So honestly, yeah, if
it's the Sean Astin of these three movies.
it's the Rudy, if you will. But you know what?
I won't.
But yeah, I'm going to say it that in this particular case, the best boarding school movie of the three here on the United States of Movie podcast is Toy Soldiers. It's also the best movie of the three as far as just movies go. And it's the most fun to watch. It's great in a group watch. It's great on a text along watch. And it's great on a rewatch. It is just such an easy movie to watch. It doesn't do exactly what it says on the tin, but it does it well.
But I did hear they are doing a modern remake at a girls' school, and Greta Gerwig is directing it.
I'd still watch it. It's I would do that. Though at the same time, we were toying with the ideas of, there were lots of sort of like boarding school movies that we could have sort of jumped into. I mean, like, you joked about it, but I was up for it because I always thought she was positively charming. But She's the Man.
I thought you were going to say Cruel Intentions. Hang on.
Cruel Intentions, that's another one. I really want to watch The Holdovers. I've been recommended that
That's such a
And
good movie.
same director as Election, you know, like honestly, we came close enough to actually doing. We should have done all three.
We
of them.
almost, yeah.
Private School. Isn't that Phoebe Cates as well from 1983? There's St. Trinian's from the UK. There's like, you know, I mean, there's a whole bunch. We could easily
Any of the
do,
X-Men movies, yeah.
honestly, yes. Young Sherlock Holmes. You know, so I think like coming back around, I think we could have some fun. And
And we switch it up and do best college movie too.
ooh, yeah.
Oh
No,
my
okay,
God.
bang that sucker on
So
the
many
list.
of those.
That's a 9-part series.
Yeah.
They've never made any college movies ever.
Back to School, Dead Man on Campus, the other one,
The one we talked about with Joe Pesci.
Stealing Harvard, Orange County,
What's the one with Jeremy Piven? Mrs.
PCU. Love that movie.
There you go. Old
You
school.
can major in Game Boy if you know how to bullshit. Old school.
But yeah, so there's a bunch. There's an absolute bunch. However, all right, as much as we have figured out that Toy Soldiers is officially the greatest boarding school movie ever made, at least until we come back around and do more boarding school movies, what we are now doing, I
The
can't
closest
believe-
proximity we could think of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just made a slight right turn.
Yeah.
I've often described boarding school as just prison that you're paying for. So why don't we do the best prison movie ever made? Now, granted,
Slightly less death.
we've already done Shawshank Redemption, and you know what? There aren't many.
Runaway Train, you mentioned.
Yeah, there aren't many prison movies. Only about 10 million, and so we have managed to pick the most varied 3 movies we could possibly pick. We've got one that is so out there. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's in the Criterion Collection, and you've probably never heard of it. Another one that is so British, it's obscenely sweet that you're going to get like cavities. And then Ryan has bought some of the purest
And
violence.
also, I'm here.
And the other one.
Is there by any chance anti-Semitism in this one? We'll see. It's a prison, probably. Though,
There's got to be one Nazi in it. Come on.
yeah.
It's a prison movie.
got to be more than one.
I don't remember, actually.
Well, we're going to find out. But Ryan, why don't you introduce your movie first? The one that's going to give people nightmares.
I picked the movie from the year. We'll add it in later. Vince Vaughn movie. We're all in Cell Block 99.
Yeah. Okay. I remember people talking about this. So it's a 2017 movie, Vince Vaughn, but instead of Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn and doing comedy, it's brutal, it's violent. And a lot of people were talking about Vince Vaughn's performance in it. So I have been interested, but it's like, what's the other one? Same director, something of concrete or whatever like that.
Oh, Dragged Across Concrete?
yeah.
That's
I've heard people
not-
talking about that being
I like the premise of that movie, but it's a slog.
well, in this particular case, Brawl in Cell Block 99, it's got pretty good reviews online. It's got pretty high ratings. It is currently available on Hulu. And apparently it's also on Prime. Oh, no, just Hulu.
I think you can rent it.
Yeah, so if you're looking into it, so Brawl in Cell Block 99, Vince Vaughn, it's going to get a bit violent. Then it's going to get hilariously violent in Will's movie, a movie that we kind of like, I can't remember who was at the group
Paddington
watch.
2?
Who was in the group watch? When
I don't
we
know,
watched
but
Ricky O?
someone there stole my DVD.
No.
Or I lent them, borrow it, and completely forgot about it. I don't know.
It's either or.
Adam.
That was
Yeah,
my
Adam,
first,
if you're
my
listening.
first thought.
We could figure this one out. But yes, so yeah, Will, tell us about this movie. This movie was a gem.
Yes. This is the movie. I think the exposure most people have to this movie is way back in the day. The Daily Show used to end with like footage of a dude smashing another dude's head in. It comes from this movie. It comes from Ricky O, the story of Ricky. Ricky is spelled 2 different ways in the title because
Yes.
it's that awesome.
It is. Yes, it's a 1991
By the way,
movie.
main character's name, not Ricky.
Oh, shit.
It's, yes, Ricky O, RIKI-O, the story of Ricky, spelt with a Y. I heard about it. It was a random Edgar Wright tweet.
Yes.
You know, just where he was like saying, you know, he's like, someone asking him, you know, what's the best movie ever made, or what's like the one movie everyone you see goes, Ricky, or the story of Ricky. It's the greatest movie.
Without
Yeah.
hesitation. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, the thing is that it guys, like, if you've never seen it, prepare yourself for what is maybe the craziest, strangest, most bizarre like live action movie you've ever seen, but I wasn't kidding when I said it is in the Criterion collection.
Which I just learned before we started recording.
It is regarded as a legendary movie, something to be preserved for the ages. It is available on the Criterion channel. If you subscribe to it, you know, you can watch some of the greatest movies ever made, and then one better one, Ricky-O, the story of Ricky. Other than that, you're going to have to go digging.
I picture Will going into the Criterion closet and just asking, like, "Where's Ricky-O?" Just taking it and like fucking off.
Ricky, and then just throwing all the other movies to the ground. Just be like, why are the rest of these here?
Why are you dumping gasoline in here?
Jacques Tati, get out of here. Throwing it.
So you can stream it for free on Crunchyroll as well. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, information is sketchy. This might be one of those ones you may have to find on YouTube for free. Or it
might be way too violent, but I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely available. This is one of those cases. Google is your friend. It is available, though. Depending on what subtitled version you're getting, everybody's names are going to be completely different. Because I was asking Ryan beforehand if the version he watched had a character named Cyclops Dan in it. That was in the first version I saw on like VHS. So Criterion has the appropriate names. Boo. This is the best movie ever made.
And honestly, I'm going to cut right to it before we've even talked about it on the show. Is if you can, just buy it.
Oh yeah,
you are going to watch this movie so many times. You're going to invite your friends over and go, guys, I've got a crazy movie to watch. It's one of those movies you want to. It's kind of the way that we had Entertain the Elk, Adam, on the show.
Oh my God!
The way he talked about the way Actually, let's ask him. The way he talked about Action USA on his TikTok is it's the kind of movie you want to show other people so you can talk to them about it.
And this is in our like pantheon of like Wraith, Ricky-O, Action USA, New York Ninja. Yeah, I'm sure there are like No Way Out.
But yeah, this movie it's insane. But I have brought, as Ryan mentioned, a movie from 2017. It's a movie that was recommended to me in 2017. And I waited almost a decade to watch. I finally watched it about 3 months ago. And I heard about it because I was in Singapore hosting the Academy Awards, and I was talking with someone from CNN, and they said, what was the best movie of the year? And I go, it's Mission Impossible Fallout. It's the greatest action movie I've ever seen. She goes, nah. She goes, Paddington 2. And then they joked about it in that Nick Cage movie. And I'm like, all right, I guess I've got to watch it. Now, Will says you don't have to watch the first one first. And honestly, he's probably right. But I did. I said I double featured this sucker. And it is one of these movies are effortlessly charming, so incredibly British. You're going to be smiling, you're going to be crying. But Paddington 2 is the prison movie.
And it is a prison movie.
It is a prison movie, and we are watching it.
You guys are just not ready for the rape scene in that movie. It is wild.
Man, it is dark. And all the anti-Semitism. Like, it brings it all.
So much. But yeah, in this particular case, Paddington 2 is the marmalade in the crazy sandwich of violence on either side that we are doing. But this movie has 91% as its rating. We're on Just Watch, so our non-sponsor sponsor, who will one day be a sponsor, Just Watch. You can rent it in also. Honestly, you have just missed where it's been streaming everywhere for like 2 years straight. It's currently not on a stream. Well, it's claiming it's on HBO Max. It's claiming it might be. So check out HBO. It might also be on Prime, or that might just be a subset. So check HBO for Paddington 2. Check Hulu for A Brawl in Cellblock 99. And check your local VHS tapes or garage sale for Ricky-O.
Yeah, check out a dumpster.
Go to the Criterion closet.
Just come to my house. Yeah.
Or mine. Yeah, I got
apparently Adam's.
Motherfucker.
So yes, next time around we are going to prison, but we're going to have a great time around.
And we'll be doing the podcast.
Oh no,
guys! I'm looking. I think Ricky-O should be a text along watch. I think that's going to be great.
Fuck yeah!
And then Ryan, I want to know when you're watching Paddington 2, so I know when you're going to start crying. It's going to be fantastic. Also, it's got overlap with In Bruges. You'll see. Okay,
Yes.
ladies and gents. Thanks for joining us for this episode. It's been a fun one. Don't forget, you can always find more from me as That Englishman in Texas pretty much anywhere, or you can find me as Ollie Pettigrew on Facebook. You can find Will as Entitled Willennial. Will's doing a whole bunch of themes now, so check him out on his Instagram, check him out on his TikTok. We're getting all kinds of history, we're getting all kinds of behind the scenes, we're doing extra features.
Yeah, and just so everybody's aware, my account kind of got nerfed, so give it a week. But
Too much antisemitism.
Not enough.
Not
That's
That's enough.
they,
Of course,
said you had none, and then they shouted at my
you got to
account.
pump those numbers up.
There's funky things going on. I'm literally chatting with their tech support at TikTok, figuring out hey, what happened to my account? So
Oh, mate, tell
who
me about
knows?
it.
I might be back. I might not. We'll see.
Ever since America bought TikTok, it's I had a video 2
nightmare.
days ago. It's 50,000 views on Facebook, 40,000 views on Instagram, 30 views on TikTok.
Because you
Yes.
guys aren't right-wing AI generated supermodels.
I don't think you're far off. I made a video talking about how Paramount can make money, and I think that made the algorithm mad.
Oh, well, I don't know what you're
So-
talking about. Definitely not taking everyone to dinner with that one.
Yeah.
But yes, you can try and find him on TikTok once he's unbanned, and you can find
Yeah.
Ryan as Rhino Digital, RYNO Digital, if you want some fantastic movie posters, redesigned movie posters, or ridiculous things. You can also find us on YouTube if you want to watch us and get ridiculous. If you're watching us and you haven't subscribed, drop in the comments, give us suggestions, and find us on our Facebook page, The United States of a Movie. But from Ryan, from Will, from me, and from Ricky O, the story of Ricky, we will see you next time on The United States of a Movie Podcast.
Cowards!